Oh, well, I'm sorry, but I'm
Too bad.
fucking breaking that rule right now.
Oh, what was yesterday then?
Yesterday, what
Was
was
that
it?
pre-Mother's Day?
Mhm. You might want to shush your mouth.
So I said that that thing that just said, Happy Mother's Day, worship me.
Yeah.
And so the other 364
The
days, just
mommy
worship
dearest.
me. Just worship me. Not Mother's Day.
I sent that to Graham because he hadn't wished me a happy Mother's Day yet. So I sent him the mommy dearest one, and he was like, I just woke up. Happy Mother's Day. He's like, calm down. I was like, I'm gonna
What time was that at?
Like 9:30. But he's house sitting for a friend of his, and he actually has a bed, a whole house to himself. He's not
9:30 this morning. You were upset that he hadn't wished by 9:30 in the morning?
Yeah. Because he's normally up at like 5:30 and he runs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like he's house sitting right now, so he is lit.
Yeah,
he
normally runs, and then he has the duty of protecting our freedom as a soldier. It's
the weekend, and he gets a 4-day.
I'll let Graham know that. I'll be like, oh, you're only a hero on the weekdays.
Anyway.
Protect the country or
Weekday
wish my
warrior.
mom a happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, but I was only teasing him because I knew he was enjoying this solitude. But what's funny is his roommate never goes anywhere. It's like ever. He's always there. And it drives him crazy. It's like the guy just doesn't do anything. And so Graham's like, hey, man, I'm going to be gone for like a week and a half. I'm house sitting and dog sitting for a friend. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be gone for like a week. And Graham's like, you motherfucker. Like, you couldn't go when I was here, like, so I could at least have the barracks to myself. He goes, this fucking guy, he's like, he was so pissed. But then obviously he's staying at this person's house, so he's feeling like pretty good until he goes back to reality.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be like, I hate my life.
Hi.
Are you okay?
I'm not, but I'll be okay.
Yeah, I know what was going on there. Yeah.
Do you want me to look that up?
No.
Are you trying to make that $165 print that we saw today of 3 tobacco leaves and a frame?
Yeah.
Which I don't understand why that was $165.
I could have made the same thing for freaking $6.50.
Went to an antique place down the road from us, and on the wall it was an older frame, but nothing like fantastic. And you could tell it was 3 large tobacco leaves in there. Price was $165. I'm like, why? I don't know.
Were they hand painted tobacco leaves? Or
no, they were real tobacco leaves.
No. It'd be like me getting my tobacco out of leaf only, pulling out of that bag, and getting the frame, and then fucking gluing
So
it.
like going to pick leaves and throwing them in a frame.
Okay, and not like painted to like Drew Estate will actually take a tobacco leaf and they paint it.
It's a real leaf that was dry.
That's some bullshit.
Just like what we have
inside.
in a frame.
Kerr, you are missing out. I'm going to get on leaf only. I'm 165. I'm going to do it for $85. Cut that in price in half.
Leaf only? What's that?
That's where I got my tobacco from.
Oh.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
We have tobacco framed.
Did you pay $165?
No,
for
I think
it
it fell apart.
It didn't, because it's in the other humidor that I turned into like the bookcase.
Oh, okay.
And it's sitting in there, just so you know.
Okay.
Since you never pay attention. So anyway, we have one
inside
frame.
of a bookcase that used to be a humidor. I don't look at it.
Doesn't matter, but it's in a frame. I'm just saying we have one.
Yeah.
It's not like unheard of. That's all I was saying.
Okay.
You acted like surprised that there was tobacco leaf in a frame.
No, I was acting surprised that we still had it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was a leaf by Oscar Kerr.
Gotcha.
This didn't have any markings on it. It was literally 3 large dried leaves. You know how they do the 3. In a frame.
Yep.
That was it. And it wasn't like the frame was very embellished or anything. It was just a simple
ornate
frame, whatever.
Brilliant.
$165.
Yeah. Just made a frame that looks old in an antique store with some tobacco leaves.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they still have the coffee vending machine though. It's on sale now for $1,900.
That's still.
They've had it for a year now.
That's
probably
still
been close
too
to a year.
much.
It looks.
Is it theirs or is it like on consign? Like one of those?
No, remember the one that I sent you?
he knows. He's asking you if it's theirs or if it's on consignment.
It's on. I have no idea.
Okay.
Okay.
there we go.
I
There's
didn't know
your
if it was.
answer.
I didn't know if it was like at an antique mall or
No,
or
they'll lower the price for cash, but not enough.
Yeah,
It's the same one we were looking at in the
Yeah.
store, but,
Yeah, but
we don't know
that-
if it's on consignment or not.
but
I
after
think
a
they
year,
bought it.
after a year though, God,
Ah,
they
fuck. That
gotta
thing
be
should be
kidding.
fucking like $1,000. That's what I told her. I was
Yeah.
like, you got to be kidding me.
It was
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Now it's 19.
Yeah. No.
If they dropped it that far, I guarantee they paid under $5 for it.
Yeah. There's no reason why that thing should
Looks
be that
so nice,
expensive.
all lit up.
Yeah,
Yeah, Joe's like, I said, yeah, Joe. So let me show you the coffee machine that we'll never use, but your mom wants to buy, just to toss some money out the window.
It would look nice in
Now-
a new house.
yeah. I mean, how many months of not having Starbucks? You could probably pay for that.
Oh,
I could get it done fairly quickly.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm just teasing. I'm not. I'm really.
No, you're not.
No,
I
you're
know.
not.
I'm not. I'm
all
not.
right. Listen, happy Mother's Day, Kevin.
Well,
take it
we
away.
gotta start the show first before you start giving you Mother's Day. This is the
The Mother's Day
prelude.
bashing.
This is where we get our jabs in, and then after the music, then it'll be all wonderful.
Okay.
And
On
Yeah.
it.
so there you go. So after we do the intro, then it'll be Happy Mother's
Kevin,
Day
that's
stuff.
your cue.
Oh, I thought you were gonna play the music first.
No.
Oh,
Do we ever play the music first?
Have we played the music in a while?
No.
Oh, we haven't. Oh,
No.
so we need to get a new one.
Yeah, we do need to get a new one.
All right. I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
Oh, I'm Broadleaf Bully Jess.
No, I'm not ready to stop bashing. I'm sorry.
I'll just leave the show and it can continue.
we can go ahead. It's been a long weekend. It's been
Jess doesn't know.
Jess is just
I don't
like,
know what's fucking going on. That's what it is.
now
I'm
you know how I
like,
feel all weekend. That's my whole weekend, not knowing what's going on.
Okay.
But go ahead, Kev. I
All
apologize.
right. I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jess.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kerr,
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jen.
and we are
The
Broadleaf
Bullies.
We talk. You listen. We're the Broadleaf Bullies. And here's your hosts, Kev, Kerr, Jessie, and Jen.
I did find a guy on Fiverr that does intros. So maybe I'll reach out to him, see if he can do us
Okay, could we talk about that after the show, though?
Well, isn't that the intro that you just played, though?
that is our intro, but we're talking about the Lars theme, the Broadleaf Bullies.
Yeah.
A new
talking
song.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need
Yeah,
something
yeah.
a little bit. We need
Newer.
something newer.
Yeah.
I wonder if Lars can produce something.
Possibly.
Anyway, happy Mother's Day, Jen.
Happy Mother's
Thank
Day.
you.
Happy Mother's Day,
to
Jen.
you, Jess. Thank you.
Happy
you.
Mother's Day, Jess.
Thank you.
Show.
Okay, Kerr,
Okay.
the floor is yours.
No.
Just get it
I
out.
want to see how your Mother's Day was.
Oh, it was nice. I woke up, opened some gifts from the kids. Then I went and brought flowers with Wyatt to my mom's. And then my dad came back to the house with me to pack up our table that I was giving to my friend because I ordered a new table and chairs. So now we have no table and chairs
Hey,
until
neither do we.
tomorrow.
I stole it yesterday.
Oh,
And I didn't order one yet. So we just
Yeah.
don't have a table and chairs.
yeah. So tomorrow
just
we'll
threw it out.
put it all together and and all that stuff. But yeah, I wanted to get that a little bit out of the way while I had a chance. And then my parents, with the place they bought, there's like a brand new bed that they don't want. It's a queen size. So they're going to give that to Shani, my friend, who I gave the table to, when their new bed comes in. So,
No, that's good.
Nothing like being that friend that gets all the hand-me-downs.
hey,
Yeah.
listen, it's better than trying to go spend money on a
Yeah.
new bed when you don't have. I mean, when they don't have to.
And this
It's
ties
still- it's
in.
still
This,
in the
this
plastic.
ties into your Mother's Day. How again?
That was my Mother's Day period.
You giving beds to people?
Well, my parents are
Oh,
giving it
okay.
to my friend, but I gave her my table.
Ah,
So she had gotten rid of hers, and she
Gotcha.
hadn't gotten one yet. And I had told her that I was going to get rid of ours, and she's like, "Oh, I'll take it." And that was like a while ago. I talked about getting a table, so I finally got the table. So I said, "Hey, how about today? I just drop it off." Why I had like my dad with me and stuff. So that was my
nice.
Mother's Day,
nice.
and I cooked leftover pizza for me and Kevin. Kevin ate in the office. I stood up in the kitchen and ate.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day.
I still kind of wanted to sit down a little bit.
Mhm.
Well, you got a bad knee, dude. You should have to sit.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not being a jerk. I
Oh,
mean, I know it's
yes,
Mother's
yes, he
Day,
should-
but he's got
he
a
should
bad
sit.
knee.
Just because he hadn't been sitting the whole fucking day.
He's got a bad knee.
Oh, yeah.
The
Mhm.
guy's knees has to get operated on. I mean,
Yes.
that's not that needs to be some sort
Care.
of like
Stop.
affirmation to be able to sit.
That's not the point.
Oh,
I'm
So-
well aware of his knee not feeling great.
So
okay?
so you sold
Well
what else?
aware.
What else did you sell beside your table?
We sold everything
Well, how was your
except the
Mother's Day?
elliptical. I would have loved to sleep in this morning. I haven't slept in probably weeks with just the stress and drama of buying the house and everything else in life. And I was just like, you know what? I'm on call this coming week, except for Tuesday, Wednesday, including next weekend. I'm gonna sleep in 5:30. I'm up.
And I celebrated Mother's Day with her because when she's up,
I tried to
I'm
be
up.
quiet, but then I started coughing.
try to be
And
quiet.
then he turns over and I see his eyeballs open. He's like, "Are you awake?"
It's
like,
because she
yes.
tosses and turns and goes that.
Uh,
Oh, I get up and I close the door. I leave.
Yeah.
I'm
I was
very
trying to get
considerate.
comfortable.
She flip flaps.
I was
Flip flops in size, and then she
Yeah,
goes. Then she rolls over and.
It wasn't on
I was like-
purpose.
That sounds fucking very familiar.
It
And I'm
wasn't on
like-
purpose. I didn't want to be up at that time.
I'm like, well,
I
it looks
really
like
wanna
we're
sleep
up.
in.
And
I'm
then-
exhausted.
And then joking around because all my jokes have been going over really fucking well all weekend. I'm like, hey, when you rub my back, it puts you to sleep normally. She goes, well, normally yes, but my arms are so
My
sore,
shoulders
and I
were-
can't lift my arm. I go, what to go half an inch? She's like, well, you don't understand, but I'm just. And then it goes,
No, that's not true.
and
At
she snores.
5:30?
Hold on, I'm not done yet. She goes, and she's snoring. I'm like, okay, good. She goes, and she rolls over and goes, I can't fall back to sleep. I got to get up.
At 5:30, I'm up because bilaterally my shoulders were killing me. So I had to go downstairs, get ibuprofen, and then I'm just starting to stir. And they literally were hurting in my lower back. So I don't know if it's just been from moving shit and packing all week, because yesterday it was just a lot of standing and Joe and Kerr did most of the heavy lifting. I don't know.
But
But it was very, very
joined
achy.
her.
The fact that I had to get up and go downstairs to get ibuprofen.
Yeah.
And I was just not happy being up at that hour. And I didn't take a nap.
And I even
today.
loaded the furniture up today. Like people who bought the furniture yesterday.
So we
Right.
did sell everything except the elliptical.
Fucking elliptical. I swear to God, it's
But
like
nobody
First
wants that.
side.
Nobody
It's
wants
rock
that.
bottom
telling us
price.
to freaking
Just leave it up on
exercise.
the curb.
I don't. I no. I'm actually
No.
tomorrow. I'm going to call Play It Again Sports. I'm going to see what they do with their consignment, and then I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
listen, dude, just give me like $50. I'll bring it to you. Just take it off my hands. But
Yeah.
I got you a card
Yeah.
and some flowers.
And Joe did too.
And Joe got her a card and a Starbucks card
Yeah.
No, that's
Nice
cute.
notes in
and
them.
sunglasses.
Oh, this is funny. He's like, I didn't know what. Well, yesterday he texted me from the mall saying, "What's your shoe size?" I'm like, well, that's odd. I said it depends on what the style and the shoe is, and I gave him the size. So I figured
Because
out
you need
maybe
shoes.
he's getting me sneakers or something. And then he hands me another gift today, and there's sunglasses. He's like, "You like to wear your sunglasses?" I said, "I like the style," and he goes, "Well, put them on," and I put them on, and I'm thinking, I'm waiting for him to say something. I'm like, Joe, you're blurry, right? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, I wear glasses. My sunglasses are prescription. You just can't put regular sunglasses on. And he was just dumbfounded by that whole fact.
like giving Ray Charles a watch.
So I said to
Give
him,
him a Rolex, Ray.
I said, I love the sunglasses. I'll keep them because you gave them to me. But unfortunately, if I put them on, I can't see shit.
Yeah, you don't buy someone
Really?
a hat.
They're
Yeah,
in the kitchen.
What are you going to wear for tonight?
It's too
Sorry,
blurry.
Kev, go
I
ahead.
yeah,
can't.
you don't
I can't
buy
see anything.
sunglasses for someone. You don't buy a hat. You don't buy a watch, and you don't buy shoes. Those are like the four things you do not.
Oh,
buy
watches
for
I don't mind buying.
Ah,
Shoes
yeah.
too.
I'd never know someone's style.
Hats?
Everybody has. Yeah.
I have bought watches for people. before.
Sunglasses though, you
Yeah.
can't buy prescription sunglasses.
Yeah,
for
sunglasses
someone.
are tough with prescription
Yeah.
sunglasses. I've gotten Jennifer watches
Yeah.
and jewelry just because
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of like a
Me,
clean
Kevin
palette to work
basically
with.
is saying, I don't want anyone to do that because I'm very particular.
Yeah, don't
That's
ever.
So it was sweet of
that's
him
what
to
Kevin
do
said.
it. Though.
Don't ever buy me a hat, watches, sunglasses, or shoes.
Yeah.
Stop-
Kevin's the easiest.
Stop
to
that
always-
watch, we got him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wear the same pair of shoes. Anyone could buy you a pair of shoes. They're
Oh, yeah, yeah,
fucking slip-on Skechers.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, true.
literally the
And
same.
you wear a flat brim hat, so I mean, if we found a
Yeah.
cool one,
If you
not-
found a yeah,
not
I mean, yeah,
not
but-
old and used because
What?
you won't wear that, God forbid.
No, yeah, yeah,
Gross.
yeah. Now you guys could probably buy me a cool hat. What you have, like you have this. This is a nice one. You knew my style.
Well, because it's brand
Uh,
new.
yeah, but most people like
no
a
one wants
flat-
to wear a fucking used hat,
Yeah.
Jen.
You've worn used hats.
I'm not.
Sure, you have that your
No.
father has sent you.
My dad has sent them to me, and I said, "Thank you, Dad. I just don't fucking wear
Yeah.
them."
Anyway,
Well, plus a style of a hat. Like, oh, it's flat brim. Kevin must like it. It's got a goddamn llama on it. Why would I like that? Whatever it is, Now I'm forced to wear a llama flat
So,
brim hat.
anyway,
for
the
a
movie
goddamn
sale-
picture.
It was a beautiful day. It got hot with a little bit of breeze, but then I'd have to say it got a little cloudy, so it worked out well. But we did overall do very well. Goodwill
Good.
got a
Oof, Goodwill made out. Like
made
a
out.
bandit
Let me
for
tell you, because
clothing.
I wasn't. Some of the clothing that I was selling was new with tags, and someone's gonna be looking nice coming out of Goodwill.
A few funny
And
highlights.
shoes.
Okay. You're very
And
loud.
Stogie Road
You're very
shirts.
loud. You just like. I love you. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
There are some good highlights of the day too.
There are.
Because it was like it would come in waves. Normally our sales are pretty steady, but this one it was like freaking a bunch of people show up and no one and
Started
everybody-
off strong with
Started
the
off-
table.
Yeah, with the
You can tell
table
the story.
where the guy comes up and he's like, goes, "How much for the table?" And I'm like, "We've been asking for like $1.25. So you got him for $75."
6 chairs, kitchen table.
And he's he's a Spanish guy and he's just like 55. And I go, "Jen." She goes, "What?" I go, "He wants to give us $55 for the table and chairs." What do you I said, "What do you think?" Now Jen doesn't realize the guy speaks broken English. So you must keep the answers very direct and to the point.
Nope.
Not Jen. Well, if he goes around and bundles some things and puts a whole bunch of stuff together, yes. I'll sell for 55. And he looks at his wife and goes, "See," and she hands me $55. I'm like,
Oh well.
I don't think you understood the whole bundle part there, Jen. You just gave a little too much information.
It's like the junkyard, push, pull, or drag. Whatever you can fit on the table and carry it out for $55.
Yeah. We had a guy. The funny part was this guy comes over and hands me a wad of money and says, "Here, this was in one of the jackets."
There were two articles of clothing that I was selling that had money in the pockets, and the people were honest and gave it back to us.
wow.
And the guy
Yeah, not a
has
lot.
a leather jacket, and then
It was a women's.
and he walks away, and I said, "I can't believe the guy bought a woman's jacket."
Yeah.
No,
Eh.
it
It wasn't like a motorcycle jacket where you could get away with
I
it looking like not a women's
I'm
jacket.
very comfortable and confident saying I wanted to tell him you should not buy that jacket
Yeah.
because it was very low, like a waist cut jacket,
Okay.
and he was tall and thin. So as he's walking away, it's like at his middle of his back.
It'd be like
But-
Kevin wearing it.
You'd be like, shut up, Kerr.
But
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
just-
it could be a total
Yeah.
vibe for him.
It's 2022. You should have sold
And
them
he
more
found
stickers.
$7 in it that he gave to us. And then
Yeah.
I charged him 10 for it.
15.
15, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like again, hey, if that's your thing, great. There's a couple other things on there you could buy, make yourself look good. But he was there with his girlfriend. It was kind of funny. He's and I was like, "Oh, thanks." I was looking for his girlfriend. Like, "Hey, she found the money. He's returned." I'm like, "No, oh, he's wearing a jacket. Oh, that looks horrible. Oh, he bought it and he's walking away." Have a
Our
great day.
niece Samantha came over. She picked out a sundress that was Michael Kors, slides, sandals that were Michael Kors. Went in our house, changed. She was off to a barbecue.
That's funny.
Put her
said
old
ha-
clothes on the rack.
I
sell
said
these.
Happy Mother's Day, Samantha.
No, she showed up in freaking shorts and a t-shirt because she was
Yeah.
coaching a soccer game.
For
Oh.
Killian.
So she just shows up and freaking just dresses herself and then walks
Yep.
away.
Oh,
I was
and a
like,
purse.
what- I'm like,
A Spartina
hell?
bag. Yep,
You're gonna
she
bring her
looked-
a bill. You're gonna bring her a bill later on. You say,
That's
hey, by
funny.
the way, you owe me like
No,
that.
she
Jen freaking-
Venmo me
mm,
enough,
Jen just freaking.
and she'll bring me coffee.
my
on
my
Tuesday.
niece Samantha was the first grandchild.
Killian's
she's
mom,
spoiled by
come on now.
everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not,
And
Killian's mom.
Killian, who's the first great grandchild and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like the spoiled rotten. Even Jennifer spoils her rotten on her thing. And I'm sitting there like,
Joe's like
yo, and
disgusting.
Joe and I are like, yo, we've been busting our asses. Sam just shows up and walks away with like $800 worth of clothing and gives you 10 spot. And you're like, thanks, Sammy.
Yeah.
I will say though, while I was out doing stuff with my dad and stuff for my friend, Kevin put in our new faucet, it was surprising because I didn't know it detached and had a sprayer.
Oh,
It
nice.
was like a bonus for our kitchen faucet. It was long overdue. We needed a new one. So
Very nice.
And if anybody from workers' comp is listening to this, it's
you
not like
didn't
I was
do-
crawling underneath the sink. It was like a 5-minute job.
Kevin, replacing a faucet.
Yeah.
It's not like you were replacing a sink.
Listen,
and a freaking fountain.
Listen,
It was
we've been watching.
faucet.
We've been watching Johnny Depp and Amber Heard
Oh,
for
Jesus.
6 weeks now. They're bringing up some old shit. A year from now, when I'm trying to sue workers' comp, they're going to play a clip of this. I'm like, oh, Kevin, tell us about this faucet again. And I'm like, Jessica.
You're insane.
And we'll be the witnesses. Will be called to testify against
I know.
you.
I'm trying to say he did something nice.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Whatever. You replaced the faucet. It's not like you had to do any real manual labor.
Well, you know what was really
Hence the
cool though about
projects around the house that haven't been done in 6 months.
well, Kevin
because of your
messaged me about that. And what's really cool, Jess, he didn't want to tell you is that he had the neighbor come over
Yeah.
and actually do it while Kevin was
Yeah.
directing him
Oh,
to
well,
do it.
that's
Kevin only
great.
acted like he did.
Yeah.
But we also at the yard sale or the moving sale, we did fill a box for $5 because we had so
Oh,
much clothing.
nice.
It was ridiculous. Between me, the boys, Emma, Kerry, we even had a box of cat and dog toys and dog and cat costumes. So
Oh my
you
God.
filled a giant box for $5.
Kara, did you get that from the Drew Estate box? The stuff that box? Is that where you got the idea from?
Quite a few people did
No,
it.
yeah, exactly.
And
Well,
they
they
love-
do that
yeah.
in
Yeah,
thrift
we-
stores.
yeah,
Fill
we
a
did
bag
it.
for $5.
We did it last year. It was like, listen, at 50 cents a piece, just fill the box
Just
and
take it.
whatever. Just take
Yeah.
whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, that's not a new concept. That's been around.
I've been folding
forever.
laundry, tucking it, rolling it. I've got all your
Believe it
everything
or
in a
not,
box.
there are people. I
Yeah.
used to go to this like consignment shop when I lived in North Carolina, and people would roll and fit as much as they could because it was $5 what you could fit in like a bag, and people would get real crafty at how much they could fit in that bag.
I got rid of the shirt folding machine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you
did
did?
you?
Well, no one uses it here, and it almost becomes a mockery.
It actually
know,
it
It
just
just
sat in the
does.
corner.
They mock me
You
as I'm
bought
trying
it.
to better their.
I love mine.
I use
love
it.
it.
I use Kevin's
and
all the time. I
I
like
don't-
it.
I don't need it because I fold freaking impeccable. My folding is awesome. These two with her and Joseph. So some kids run around up there and his mom buys stuff, and I said, "Hey," I said, "Do you do chores around the house?" And they're like, "No," and he's like,
Just outdoor ones.
"Just outdoor ones. I like to do outdoor ones." I said, "Do you fold clothing?" He's like, "No." I said, "You need to start." I go, "Come here." I said, "I'm giving this to you because it's going to be a new chore when you get home." And I, it's a shirt
He was
folder.
demonstrating
I was
it.
demonstrating it. I said, "Here." I said, "Now you got to do." And the kid looked at me. He's like, "Dude, like, what the fuck, man? I just said I don't
Yeah.
do chores,
Yeah.
and now you're giving me." In about 5 years from now, I'm probably going to be freaking cut or shot in the middle of freaking
Yeah.
No.
downtown Greenville.
Right. Or this person will like join the military and have like the best folding skills.
No, that'll be like he'll become a CEO of a company, and then like he'll be interviewed one day, and like, what do you attribute to your success? I was at a garage sale one day, and this guy gave me a T-shirt, and it changed my life. It brought
This
All
Structure.
I did was go out and pull weeds, but this
Yeah.
gave me structure and
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah.
I'll be like, "That was me."
Yeah.
See, Joe and Jen. You'd be CEO if you listen to me, damn it.
Uh,
Sold some Cuban cigar boxes.
Yeah.
guy showed up wanting collectibles and silver, and I go, I don't have collectibles, nor do I have silver. I said, but I got cigar boxes. I said, there's some Cubans in there, and he was like, oh, so I sold some old Cuban cigar boxes, and
Nice.
you know, we got rid of the couch and the chair. The lady, for how much the
Oh my
one
God,
lady was
she
a
was
pain in the
funny.
ass
Your
with the
new
color.
couch?
No.
No.
The one that we
The
had
one that was yellow,
upstairs.
green, kind of tannish, and the
It was in the
lady
boys' room.
lady showed up, and it was like several weeks ago. It was so annoying about the color. This lady showed up. She's like, I love this color. Oh my God, I'm gonna get this for
It
my
was Cooper's
grandmama.
couch and chair upstairs.
I'm gonna get this for my grandmama. You know what? I'm gonna give my grandmama my stuff, and I'm gonna keep this for myself. And I was like, fuck, $75. It's all yours. I said, I'll even throw in that freaking bag next to you full of tablecloths. She's like, it's a great deal. And so the lady's like, you're a salesperson, aren't you? I'm like, no, I'm just, I like to demonstrate things. You know?
Oh my
Just
God.
They came and picked it up today.
trying to move shit. That's it.
Yeah.
It's funny because my parents keep asking if I want stuff. I'm like, no. Like, A, we don't have room for anything. And no, I don't want anything.
We want that $25,000 table they have so we can resell it.
That's not even a thing. I saw the table. My mom and dad are both it's a nice table.
You need to take a picture of it.
I will.
I swear to God,
Why was
beautiful-
it $25,000?
It's all crystal. Like
What?
the people who left, the people and my parents bought the place from left it completely furnished. And so my parents had to get rid of a lot of that stuff. And then they obviously couldn't fit all of their stuff. So they had to downsize some of their stuff. So the stuff that the guy left is fantastic. I mean, it's beautiful stuff, but I don't know. Every time they talk about the table, I've looked at it. It's very nice. I'll take a picture of it.
What kind of
Goes up
table?
in value each time they talk about it.
No, it's the same. It's the same amount. I forget what
What
did
kind
my
of
mom
table?
say? Crystal. It's just a
I
crystal.
know. What is it?
table.
A coffee table?
Oh,
Dinner table?
it's
Set
like
table?
it's a decent dining table. It's probably you could fit like 6 people around
a
it.
crystal dining table.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
does it have a crystals hanging from it? In like,
No.
I can't. I have
Just
to
the
Google it.
top,
I don't-
right? Like,
Oh, I've never
just
seen it. I don't know
what
what
did my mom say to you? It's the top is like a crystal.
Does it
don't
have like
know.
wooden bottom and everything, or
Yeah, the bottom is like a solid.
You need to take
piece
some
of wood.
pictures.
I'll take pictures.
That's going to be your.
Okay.
But my
That's going to be your
parents,
dowry.
but yeah, I
Is that
listen,
table.
I am not worried about it.
Because I swear if I see it like in the paper, like someone bought a $10 table at a garage sale and it's worth 20 grand, I'm
Well,
going to punch you,
this-
your dad, your
listen.
mom.
They kept it. They ended up
Yeah.
keeping it. They have not gotten rid of
Okay.
it because it does sit out on their outside, extension of the house. It's like, a covered porch or whatever. So anyway, they have like this thing where they live where you could go and you could like drop off stuff and people can take what they want type of thing, like a
Right.
swap. So my dad was bringing little things down, like when they were like, oh, here, I have a bunch of dish sets and glass that we didn't want anymore. And some old lady's like, oh, you bring the good stuff. My dad's like, I'll keep bringing you all the good stuff if you think this is good stuff. It was like, knick-knack dumb shit. And like these old people were like taking it all. And so they have a recliner that's really nice. It's a rocker recliner. Nobody wants it. We don't have room for it. No, I don't know anybody who wants it. I've offered it to people. And so I was like, oh, you're going to have to bring it to that swap thing. He goes, oh, people are probably going to brawl over this freaking recliner chair because apparently people are cheap there and want all the stuff. For
Well,
nothing.
retirees living in a
They do,
retirement
but
community.
it's
Yeah.
insane. But
Well,
my mom.
yeah.
But my parents took so much stuff to Goodwill and to like Salvation Army and Habitat and just, a ridiculous amount of stuff because the person left it fully furnished.
That's amazing, especially when you have your own stuff and then you have a fully furnished home. It's like
And this wasn't like
winning the
bad
lottery,
stuff.
but not. It's like
That's
Right.
rich.
Well, a lot of the stuff that the guy had there, they did end up keeping and got rid of some of their stuff. It was not bad. He was French. He's French Canadian, the guy who sold them the place, and he was going back to Canada. And they didn't spare any expense. They really went all out with like refurbishing the whole place, and everything was very nice. He did not. Yeah, they ended up getting some really good stuff.
That's nice. When I bought my
Yeah.
house in Pittsburgh, they had this big armoire, and it was just this big, massive, and they're like, the family selling you the home, they want to thank you, and they said as a gift they're gonna give you the armoire. I'm like, bullshit. That thing weighs 1,000 fucking pounds. They don't want to get rid. They don't want to move it.
That was Rachel and her husband. What's his name?
Ross.
Yeah. So my stepsister, like they bought their huge house, and in the garage was a gun cabinet, and it was I don't know, like 6 feet by 8 feet by like 4. I mean, it was massive. The
Like a
steel,
safe?
yeah, safe, full of concrete. It probably weighed
Oh God,
two or 3 tons.
Yeah,
I mean tons. It was the biggest gun safe I'd ever seen in a home before, and the guy was trying to sell it to a Clayton, and won like a couple $1,000
That's her
for
husband's name. You just like
Clayton, yeah. So Clayton's like,
that.
no, I got, because he's a gun collector, and he's like, I got safes for all my guns. You can take it with you. We don't want it. The guy's like, I'm just gonna leave it. He tried selling it to him, and then after he didn't buy it, he's like, I have no way of getting it out of here.
I
He's
can
like,
imagine that's
Did
probably
Clayton
been
use it?
impossible.
yeah, Clayton uses
oh,
it. Yeah,
that's funny.
but yeah, it was impossible. One of those things that was fucking built in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was trying, like, hey, if I can get some extra.
Yeah,
money
exactly.
for
And
this,
Clayton's like, no,
why
you
not?
can take it. He's like,
Yeah, I thought you said a Clayton. I was like, is there like
Yeah.
a Clayton family in the area?
No,
that's
that's
a
why
safe.
I-
That's a safe
that's-
family.
That's why I
Yeah.
said that's her husband's name, because I was like, I'm pretty sure Karen Jenner probably like, what
Yeah.
the fuck, Kevin?
yeah,
What
he's
is
got
this
he got tons of guns. He got mounted. Like travel all over the world hunting. One of those
Yeah.
guys, the rare.
I just
animals
texted my mom and said,
hanging on
hey,
the
can you
wall.
send me a picture of
Yeah.
your crystal table?
Oh man, it was. And then the funny part was family came over.
That's always fun.
And that's
Of
always
course,
fun
when they're
have you
moving.
guys
Of
do.
course, when you're moving.
So my sister comes over, which is automatically, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today, right?
Set
So
a credit limit.
my sister comes in and gets a credit limit, and then a payoff date. My niece shows up and she gets obviously free reign of everything.
Killian started his own box of what he was taking.
Killian started his own box, so I was just like,
Aw.
I was just like, you know what? There's just shit, just like kept putting shit in there. So my sister ended up with that stuff, and then Jennifer's dad and stepmom show up with her sister-in-law, and we're all hanging out. And you could tell that Jen and I were kind of like, at this
It's
point,
at end of day.
at
It's
a
like
day, no
3:30.
filter on anybody at this point.
Yeah.
And Jen's sister-in-law FaceTimes Jen's brother, and there's a customer here, like fucking 5 feet away,
Not even.
and it's like, "Woo. Hey, how you doing?" And they're talking. He goes, these fucking people, damn it, I'm sick of goddamn tired. Jen just goes, hey. What the hell? Like, I'm talking to somebody. Jen just snapped, and then she
We had been up since 5 a.m.
quickly ran away and hung up the phone because I'm like, well, the loudest one of the family, so Sean's super loud and he's dropping F-bombs and cursing, and there's someone here, and then we're sitting there and stepmom Rose, who's awesome, she's like, how much is that? $5? Oh, I charge $20. I said,
Jeez.
Rose, that's the reason why you don't sell shit when you have
Yeah.
sales.
Right.
I said you overprice everything and you go home with everything. I said, that's why I'm not gonna have shit out here at the end of the day.
we didn't put prices on anything. We
And she
basically
goes,
spitballed it.
she goes, and she said, oh, well, I guess maybe I am overpricing things. And end of the conversation at that point. I was like,
God.
I said, it's just the truth, Rose. I'm like, you guys, they put these little knickknacks out, and it's like $30. I'm like, $30? You should put a decimal in between that 3 and a 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before my parents moved, they lived near a church, and that church would have this huge sale twice a year where everybody would set up and people would drive just to go to this sale. So my mom would have a little garage sale just to get rid of some stuff that she didn't want anymore, so because she knew when it was coming around, so she would ask me to come over and help or whatever. So I used to go over there, and so one year I had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to get rid of, and I didn't put prices on anything. People were like, what do you want for that? I'm like, I don't know, $1. And they were like, really?
Yeah,
only
we did a lot of $1 and
I was like,
$5 items.
Yeah.
I was like, I had a couple kids bikes, and I was like, I don't know, $10. They're like, $10, that's it. And so then other people were telling other neighbors, they're like, go there. They're like, but it was not worth more than what I was saying. It just wasn't. It was all.
Oh, we had stuff worth more.
Yeah,
I just
that's
didn't want it.
different.
You wouldn't sell
Right.
it though. We
Yeah.
didn't want to take it with us.
Yeah, my parents used to live before they moved into a community, really nice community, and twice a year they'd have community garage sales.
Yeah.
And it would be hundreds of homes.
Mhm.
And then my stepmom, she always hated it because didn't make a difference what they sold. My dad went out to garage sales and brought shit home.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever they sold, they didn't make any room. You know, look what I found. Look what I found. You know,
It was funny when they were actually selling their house and moving. They were like, my parents, you want this? You want that? Don't you guys want this cow? No. Like, you have a huge house. You've been in our house. Like, we can't fit any of that. And
you have a 3,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
We can't have any.
You want this big, huge leather sectional? No.
Oh,
no,
yeah. 25-foot long sectional.
So there was a few.
What do we do with that?
Yeah, there was a few things that we took back. Like, Kevin made these really cool, like, corner piece shelving units and stuff. So he took those back, and we have one, and we gave one to my parents. And I think Donnie and Sarah ended up with that.
Oh, okay.
And because I told them if they weren't going to take it, to give it to
us.
I
found some beautiful, beautiful doors at Habitat for Humanity. This is going back years ago. And these doors were like 8 foot tall. You know, like each door was like 4 feet wide, and they were solid.
Yeah,
solid mahogany, hundreds of pounds a piece. So I cut like the doors down and I made like corner cabinets, you know, and with shelves. Out of all of the wood, some cool antique hardware and stuff. And
yeah, it's cool. I love it.
Yeah.
See, we had the Restore that's around here. It's kind of like the same thing. They had butcher block countertops.
Yeah.
Like just slabs of them for sale for like $250 a pop.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
And I was like, man, maybe we should just, and then just like that, they were gone.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I believe it. That's a good deal.
But the yard sale was what went well. I mean, and you know, a couple people I had to say no. Yeah. I had the a humidor, and it doesn't even really humidor. It's more of a box that they made at the old factory San Geronimo that they hand carved.
Not wood, it's crystal.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm going to send you these pictures.
And they hand carved it, redid it. I was like, you know, I'm not at that factory anymore. Fuck them. I don't want this shit.
Yeah.
You know. So I was like, yeah, it's like what, $10 I'll sell it for. Yeah. Lady's like, well, you take 5. I'm like, no. And then my niece looked at me. She goes, I thought you never say no. I said, you have to establish at least one big hard no at a yard sale. No, I'm holding the line on the price on this. Someone came by later on and bought it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not the one that's outside. It's the one that's inside.
Yeah.
I never noticed that it was like that. I thought it was the one outside. That's the one in their kitchen area.
Oh, beveled edge and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It's crystal. The whole thing is crystal.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and so we were laughing when my mom was telling this because we're like, bullshit. This guy's telling you bullshit, right? Like, there's no way that this is a crystal table. But now that I'm looking at the base, I'm like, how did I miss that? I was
said,
looking
at the base is wood. I'm like, that's a very clear.
That's their one wood outside that
we can do left. Google photo.
Yeah, so my mom and dad ended up keeping it because they weren't sure. They were like, maybe this guy's not full of shit. Yeah, it actually looks good. Surprisingly,
it's something that I figured that someone who's a French Canadian would buy. We are going to go sit at the crystal table.
So it looks like there's one here for $4,000.
I found one for $7,000.
Yeah.
The other reason why they didn't move it is because they said it was heavy.
Yeah, like, crystal's heavy.
Like like super ridiculous. So my dad's like, it's gonna stay here for now.
Yeah, there's quite a few like similar.
For some reason, I thought because he left 2 tables, and the one that I was thinking of was the one that's out on their like screened in like porch area. But I've only been to their place like 3 times now, and it was like in the 2 times I went, they were still unpacking. So this is the first time when I went over there today that I actually like saw it all put together. It's really coming along. They've done a really nice job. But yeah, I now didn't even realize that was a table I sat at for like 20 minutes today. Yeah. Never even looked at it.
Never even noticed that the base is see-through.
So that just goes to show you that I don't really like pay attention to certain things.
Oh, you should tell them about the your other Mother's Day gift you got. When you stole that longboard from that guy.
Well, that wasn't Mother's
Yeah,
Day.
it
That
was
had nothing to do with my. Why would
Yeah,
you?
so what's
No,
the
you
story
wanted-
with the
First off,
longboard? I
you
saw the
wanted to
picture.
bring this up. Why we're doing the bully? Why do you do stuff like that? I don't want to discuss it where it's even recorded because I already feel like shit.
Is this
And
a
he
workman comps issue?
No, he just
Workman
wants
comp?
to be. He wants to be a jerk, and I don't want to be a jerk. And I feel like that was a story
Yeah,
for
Kevin.
not on air, Kevin.
Well, now everybody listening is going to
No,
have to know
and you
the
did that on
story.
purpose because you want to be a jerk. And it's more of being a jerk to me than anything because you
No.
already know how bad I feel.
Yeah, that guy's not going to watch this.
It doesn't matter. I felt bad. Okay.
All right. Well, now you have to tell the story.
Yeah.
So we're at the 25th anniversary party at Smoke Inn for Abe. And Kevin purchased stuff, right? And so I guess when he did that, you do a raffle. So he put his name down in mine, which I didn't know, but like, obviously I figured it out when they were like, Jessica, and I'm like, they're like Jessica Brand. I'm like, oh, I won? Like, how did I win? I didn't put my, name down or whatever. So obviously I figured Kevin did. Well, I didn't hear anything. All I know is that they had a longboard and then a Bitcoin picture, like hand painted picture from Drew Estate that was like the beginning of the giveaways. So I walk up and I said, I want the longboard. And like,
And,
so
and Abe just goes, yeah, you can have it.
Right. So I like grabbed the longboard. And so then they call the other person's name and that person's like, I wanted the longboard. That was supposed to be my prize. And I was like, oh shit.
Why would it have been his prize?
Because if you go back on the live, which I wasn't paying attention at all, because they called my name like 3 times. I like was not even like hearing what they were saying. Abe says, okay, we're going to do the longboard and the Bitcoin. He goes, all right, let's do the Bitcoin first. And then that's when he called my name a couple times. And then I was like, oh, and all I did was beeline for the freaking longboard.
But that responsibility falls squarely on Abe.
should have
Yes.
said
Drawn the
no.
line.
Because if it was
Said-
anybody
That's
else
his fault.
besides Jessica, he'd have probably been like, no, it's the
probably
painting.
Said,
So-
hey,
Yeah.
So I was really confused though, because the guy he was definitely upset with me, and I was like, and he was like, you knew what you were doing. I'm like, no, not really, because I really wasn't fucking paying attention. But like,
The guy
it's
sounds like
whatever.
he's being a douche to you.
Well,
so
not
he
really.
deserves to get the other one.
I don't feel that way. I feel like he was disappointed, right? Because like technically, I mean, the Bitcoin was.
Then why didn't you swap
Jen,
with them?
if it would have been
Well,
you,
Kevin wouldn't let
give me
me.
a fucking break. If it would have been you would have gone up there and been like, no, my name was called. They said the longboard second. I want that fucking
it should-
longboard.
yeah,
You would have
should've-
laid. You
It should have been Abe's responsibility.
I said
Well,
there was
yeah,
anyway,
I
responsibility.
agree.
I said that.
I only felt bad because it was like I didn't want people to perceive it as like it was some kind of rigged thing, right? Like that's really what it was coming down to. I was severely
Jessica from
shocked.
Cigarprop got what she wanted. Oh, go
Right.
figure.
Right,
Well,
but
she did.
She did.
I
And that's
did.
her second longboard. Because Kevin bought one on
Listen,
eBay.
He bought one. There's
Well
no
described,
difference.
Kevin.
Listen,
Has a great description.
I don't hardly ever win anything. Like honestly, like I hardly ever win anything. And when I do stuff and when I buy stuff, I give so much shit away. Like so much of the stuff that I purchased
Look
with
at
my
Kevin
own
smiling
money.
over there.
No, and he knew, and like so I kept saying like, but Kevin was he was like, oh, this is fucking great. Like digging in, and then like everyone else is just like, don't worry about it. Like who cares? And I'm like, I felt bad. I felt bad. So then we're leaving, and then the guy's like, can I take a picture of it? And I was like, oh, and Kevin's like, he's fucking blasting
That's
you.
it later on
saying
his
this-
Facebook. This is the longboard I should have won.
Right.
And this is the bitch that stole
But
it
if you
from
felt
me.
bad, then why didn't you just swap with them?
Kevin wouldn't
Didn't
let
feel that
me.
bad.
Yeah.
No,
Kevin took it from you and wouldn't allow
No,
you to
he
give
was
it
like,
to
She
him.
wasn't walking away from me either. Like I'm gonna go.
Where was I gonna go in the lounge? Where was I
No,
going?
no. I want him to have it. No, really.
No, I
really,
was gonna hand
really.
it over, and you
Oh,
sit
yeah,
here. That's
Kevin.
not true. I was gonna hand it, walk over to, and Kevin's like, "No, don't do it."
Yeah.
So that's bullshit. To
Kevin,
act
it's your
like-
fault.
So then,
Well-
when we were leaving, at that time, it was already past the point. There was no way I was like letting it go. Like at this point, I was like,
She
no.
was attached to it at that point.
So
I-
the
I was-
Hold on, let
Bitcoin
her
was it a
finish.
picture?
Let her finish
What
the
was
story.
it?
I don't know. Let her finish the story.
No, I mean, good question. I asked Kevin the
It
same
was
thing.
it was a painting. I didn't understand
I
why they called it a Bitcoin painting. It was like a Drew Estate cigar, and it was just a painting by Their
To be honest,
the
it coulda
studios
had
down
a-
there in Nicaragua.
It could have had some kind of Bitcoin something in it. I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know.
but I did.
So you
I-
could have been a Bitcoin owner.
No,
No.
what? No, it
I don't
was
think Abe would have let that happen,
picture.
but go ahead.
yeah,
It was a picture.
yeah.
of whatever.
Subculture Studios,
Yeah.
did it. So
So it was just artwork, you
It
know,
was the
which
same-
has still been cool.
it was the
It's still-
same on her longboard. It was just a longboard that was hand painted.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but it was awesome. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, like, I grabbed it out of Willie's hands, was like, you know, totally oblivious that all of that other shit was going on. And like, when we went back and watched live, I went,
Were you doing shots of tequila prior?
no, I drank water almost. It was so hot. Like, I think I had a little bit of heat stroke. I think everybody
It
there
was
had a
fucking
little bit
brutal.
of
It was
street-
from the
heat
sun.
stroke. It was
Yeah.
so warm.
Well, let me ask you a
Like,
question.
fucking warm.
Why wouldn't you want to talk about that? Because in all honesty,
Because
objectively,
I felt like
You just cleared it up.
but
I-
objectively, like you didn't go in there with bad intent to take it. Like
no,
you
no,
went up there,
not
you
at
took
all.
it, and Abe should have been the one to say,
Yeah.
"Hey, Jess, you know what?
Right.
You actually won this. This guy won that." And since he didn't do
Right.
it, you go back to Kevin with your booty, and at that point, it ain't going anywhere.
Well,
that shit is
Jack
9
Sparrow.
cents of the
Here's
law
the-
at that point.
Here's the other thing. Abe had no idea whose name he was going to call next and what they were going to say. So of course, as soon as they called that guy's name, he made it a point to be like, "Oh, I wanted the longboard." So then I felt instantly like shit because then I was confused, and then I realized what was happening, kind of. And then when we went back and watched live, I was like, "But you could see how fucking oblivious I fucking am with the whole because they're calling like the name, and I'm like looking around like everybody else, like, where's this Jessica chick? Like, who won?" And then he's like, "Jessica Brand." I was like, "Me? You can hear me, you can see me." And I'm like, "I won." And I don't even go to Abe, who's holding the Bitcoin thing. I'm going to really like,
Just
I
because
was
it's someone holding something.
I was like, "Give it to me." It was insane. And you could tell, like,
Good thing there wasn't a car up there. You would have got behind the wheel.
It could have been somebody else's stuff. She'd have just picked it up. Yeah, I just want this.
So I was excited, clearly, you know, and then I instantly not wanting to be a bad person. Like, that's not my intention. My intention was never to wrong this person. I just happened to have my name called first. And I said, well, because they originally said, let's do the longboard and the Bitcoin. At the same time, he said it. And then he was like, all right, we'll do the Bitcoin first. But I wasn't even paying attention to that. I only learned that after the when we watched the live back that they did, the Facebook Live. So I was like, all I heard was longboard, saw the longboard. That's all that was.
Horse blinders.
Yeah, you put a longboard and a freaking painting of a Bitcoin next to each other. Of course, you're gonna be like, yeah, that thing right
No,
there.
but I am so grateful to Abe
Yeah.
for allowing me to pick, because he even said, he was like, that's fine, go ahead.
Yeah.
So, you know, I do feel bad in the sense that guy felt that he lost out on something.
You know, the
That-
guy probably went up to Abe, bitched about it, and Abe gave him some cigars, and the guy's happy.
Maybe,
Get him
maybe,
on the
maybe
fucking way.
not. And either if he didn't, well, I said to Kevin that I wanted to find out who he was, so you know I could send him some. I felt
Oh, you'll be tagged on a
genuinely
post
bad.
pretty soon. You'll know who he is.
Yeah. They're like, no.
that's
Here's-
Kevin though. See,
that's
that's
my
where see,
longboard.
he's sitting there being like that, but like I'm entitled to feel bad. Like you can't tell me
Yeah, I
that I
know.
can't feel bad for that, but I didn't feel bad enough to let it go.
Just say
It wasn't
Okay,
that bad.
Kevin's not denying your feelings, Jess. He's
I
just
know.
denying you being able to give that back.
No. In the very beginning I was, and
Can you
then
bring the
Kevin
rum
was
out?
like, no,
Right.
and then some other people that we were sitting with, they were like, don't do it. And I was like, oh, the inner conflict. And I was like, fuck it. Then that was
Listen,
my stance on it. I was
the-
like, I wanted it. I'm not gonna lie. I obviously
But
wanted
Jess,
that
but
goddamn
Jess,
long
the whole thing. I think what Kevin's trying to tell you in Kevin's way is when Abe said, "Yeah, go ahead and take it," right there was the decision.
Yeah, I get
Any argument, any
I
complaint.
know.
I don't
know.
give a shit if you give out 8 million cigars a day. That doesn't matter at that moment.
I'm
At that
pretty
moment, when Abe gave you the permission, said,
Yeah.
yeah, you can take it. That it's his show, it's his giveaway.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
It's
well,
yours.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure there was a few people there that thought that was a dick move on my part, and whatever.
Everyone's
you
got
know,
opinions though. Who gives a fuck? right?
Yeah,
I mean, if you really gave a fuck what people think about you.
But I get why
God.
maybe some people would think shitty because of the Drew Estate stuff. But I will tell you that almost everything that I have that's mine personally from Drew Estate, I have purchased with my own goddamn money.
But that
Fact.
doesn't matter. But that
no,
doesn't
but I'm
matter.
saying fact, and I can
But
prove
that doesn't
it.
matter. That doesn't
And
matter to what you're talking about.
But that's the shit that
Thank
I
you.
want. I was like, oh my god, this is what people are gonna
You
think.
won
'cause
something. You know,
get whatever
listen,
I fucking want.
every time I go down to Boda, I win something. I never win anything. At any time, everything. And every time I go down for a Drew Estate event, I see Will. What's up, man? How you doing? Give Will hugs, everything else like that. And I always win something.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
I just put
I
my
know.
and whether or not it's rigged or not rigged, I don't think it's rigged because I've been there for the drawings and I won some pretty cool stuff. And
I will say when we went to one of the Drew Estate events at one of our local lounges, it was a little rigged because the people who won weren't even there. And I was like, are you how could they put their names in? They weren't even here at all. Like, but they had bought stuff, so they were able to be put in the drawing. But I've
won two things not being there because
which is fine. But then I was
I bought a bunch of shit.
But like it was, so we bought, and I wanted to win this retro radio so bad. Like that's
that was so freaking cool, wasn't it?
I freaking wanted. Yeah. Well, I didn't win it. And I didn't go crazy. So then Ronnie was doing a huge sale through Secreto. And that was one of the things that you could get with the swag with all these cigars you bought. So I bought all these cigars because I wanted that radio. Like
I wanted the radio and I wanted the humidor and I won the freaking red leather bag.
Well, actually, the one that I have that I bought, it was the amp one, which is really cool. It's just cool because it's like retro looking. But I bought that. I didn't win it. I bought it.
They had a red leather bag there.
What was
it
filled with?
Well, and you had the choice. You could either take the bag and what was inside of it, or a $200 gift card to smoke in. And I said, take the bag. Like I already seen that it was filled with cigars, box after box of cigars. Take the bag.
Yeah, it
was full of cigars.
Mine was filled with paper.
Yeah,
And I came home and I thought she'd like it. I go, look at this cool. She's like, that's hideous.
You didn't like that bag? It was actually.
I don't like it.
I'm like, hey Joe. He's like, no. And I'm like,
really? I actually like that bag.
Got myself a red Drew Estate bag. I'll keep it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ask my sister because my sister would take it no matter. I wouldn't. If
matter
there would
what
be a
that
fucking
looks like.
hole in it, she'd take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I always say if I was giving away free bags of dog shit, she'd take two.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, that is definitely anything that Drew Estate put. People love the swag. I myself included. Clearly, I wanted that longboard, but I felt a little bit bad only because he was so boisterous about how upset he was.
Yeah, but they were giving away a ton of great stuff.
Yeah,
and JD was there just giving things away.
Oh, I know.
Like you were supposed to buy something, but if JD like knew you, he'd like, hey,
or if they came up.
Give me a second. Get the like they're giving away like the Savage Feast, like because we bought some packages, so we got the Savage Feast, which is a couple of Drews that you can only get it from Jonathan Drew at events that he attends, and you can't get him anywhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then he was, because I was up there and he's like, where's Jessica? And I'm like, she's right there. So she came up and he's like, you guys smoking anything? And we're like, no, just finished one up. So they opened up a second box, pulled them out, cut them, lit them for us. I'm like, there you go.
I know.
So I'm like, oh, sweet.
God, that is such a fantastic.
So we came home with two.
Yeah.
And we got to smoke one
there.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was nice because our friend Chico Ray wasn't able to attend because his wife is about to go in labor kind of at any moment. And so we were able to pick up some stuff for him. So that was cool too, that we were able to do that because he's obviously a huge DE fan. Like he's DE for life.
And then I kept going around to all of the Drew Estate personalities like Ryan Gallimore, JD, Willie, all the guys. And like I'd pull them off to the side. And then I was like, hey.
I
go, Gary. And I'd point over to Gary. Go, Gary told me the mystery cigar was a Herrera Esteli. I go, is Gary lying to me? And every time they go, not going to work, man. So then I'd go to Ryan Gallimore. I'm like, hey, man, Gary told me it was a Nica Rustica. Is Gary
Gary's
pulling
like,
my leg? And Ryan's like, I'm not telling you.
Every
single Drew Estate, I kept saying, Gary told me.
I will say, though, that it was cool to find out a little bit of some of the cool stuff they're going to do at the Barn Smokers this year. I'm super excited. I'm not going to say anything because for anybody who does listen to our podcast, I wouldn't want to ruin it. But it's going to be amazing, and I don't know how Gary's going to top it the next year. So it's going to be super cool. So yeah, 2 years. These had 2 years to be able to really amp up their game.
Well, say, they definitely got to be
probably too much time because now it's going to be like, shit, what do we do the next year? How do you top this? But you know, they always do. I mean, they always pull through and do something cool. So I'm excited. I can't.
I was like, I would want to attend one of those. They look pretty.
I
cool.
would like to attend too.
You guys, guys definitely need to. We'll have to. Whatever one you guys want to do, we'll have to do it with you because
probably some of the dates and all the dates are just so like scattered and with the shit that we have going on. I always wanted to go to the one in Pennsylvania because I know the area where the farm is.
It's hot as fuck that time of year though.
Oh yeah,
it's like it's one of the most beautiful. Like it's a really pretty farm. It's very nice.
Yeah,
but I would not say that would be your first barn smoker. I would say the Florida one's amazing, and then I've not been to the Kentucky one, but everyone I ever talked to says Kentucky's their favorite.
Yeah,
really. Yeah, I heard Kentucky's a good one. I just want to go to Pennsylvania because I'm from that area. So
absolutely.
And honestly, I Kentucky's a great barn smoker. It's a great event.
Don't ruin it for me.
No, but it's a great area too. So when you go to, so it's outside. It's Hopkinsville, Kentucky, which is right next door to Clarksville, Tennessee, which is just down the street from the military base.
And you and Grim went to Nashville, didn't
you? Then it's down the road from Nashville. Yeah. So if you make it a family trip and you go down like three days or so, 4 days, there's so much to do in that area. Like you're in Nashville in an hour, whatever it is. So there's so much to do. So I think that's one of the reasons that it's such a popular one because you can do so much. Like Pennsylvania, like Amish country,
Strasburg. Yeah, what are you going to do? Hey kids, let's go to intercourse.
You can go to the trade museum.
Yeah, even
that's still like an hour from the event.
Yeah.
even Connecticut. Tony and I went when I'll be flying in for that one at the hotel. It's an hour to any cigar lounge. We're just stuck there, just doing nothing for like a whole day because you have to drive so far. Yeah. Same with Louisiana. So all the barn smokers. You got to drive, like, I mean, Florida's another good one because you can bring your family to Disney World if you make it a 5-day.
Mm-hmm. There's a guy who actually lives in Florida. I was talking to at Abe's thing, and he's dropping his wife and kids off at Universal. He's going to go barn smoker, and then when he's done with the barn smoker, he's just going to
go to Disney.
He's going to go over there and pick them up from Universal because they have passes. So, it's kind of like, there are people who do plan trips around it.
We're going to Pennsylvania and drop you off at Lancaster.
Yeah.
You're like, you can make butter for the day.
Oh, yeah. they have outlets there. They have
we just kept driving and driving.
Well, we went and picked up
nowhere,
Craig Vanderslice and we drove over with him. And we were like, man, this is really out here.
In Pennsylvania?
I know the area.
He lives in Chris's home, well, not hometown, Malvern.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Malvern. That's a nice area.
Yeah, it is. And it is really a beautiful drive, but we were like, man, and it was literally record-breaking heat wave that year. It was,
but that area though, once you see one farm, you've seen them all. It's like, okay, look, there's some more cows, Mom.
Awesome.
Okay, keep going.
But I'll tell you, because they always serve like amazing food, you didn't even want to eat. You didn't want to drink. You just wanted to go anywhere where there was like, you could get cool because it was so brutally hot. I mean, it was like 102 that day.
Well, and at each barn smoker, they have the
activation
the experience acid tent, which is a huge tent where DJ Eli's in there, and it's just like a club. And it's air conditioned. I mean, they have like industrial. It couldn't keep up that day.
No,
it was
on top of it, when everybody, because everybody was trying to be in there, that also makes it hot in there. And then it was smoky from people smoking cigars, so it got to be too much. But normally, in any of the other station, when you did that at any of the other barn smokers, it was perfectly fine because the weather wasn't like that bad. But Florida, obviously, I'm partial to. But I always enjoy it. But I haven't been to the Kentucky one or the Connecticut one.
Which one Which one are you going to this year?
I'm going to the Florida one and the Kentucky one.
Yeah.
And then obviously I'll be joining her in Florida and Kentucky, and then I'll be doing Connecticut as well.
Yeah, you're going to Connecticut as well.
Yeah, because
we're not doing PA because we're doing the Battleship.
Yeah, we're doing the dinner on the Battleship. It's a little. The time frame can work, but it's
Yeah.
so expensive flying right now. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I said, just for us to go have dinner on the battleship,
Like
it was
$1,700.
$1,700
Wow.
for flights,
Hotel.
Wow.
hotel, and rental car for.
Holy
Yeah.
mackerel.
It was $1,700 to have dinner.
But you know
So-
what? We're never gonna be able to
we're never
do
gonna do
this
that
again.
So it was hard to turn around and like 3 weeks
Yeah.
later
yeah.
spend that same amount of money.
And we're still
you know,
on
at
the
a
fence. And we're
It's not
still
like
on
the
the
dates
fence
are
with-
close to each other where you could just
Yeah.
drive right over to
Right.
Pennsylvania
Yeah.
and,
Right.
you know, spend like a couple
Like
days and
we
then go
could
to
have
the Barn
stayed.
Smoker.
Yeah, we could have stayed, but it's too.
Yeah.
It's too far.
They had a bed and breakfast in freaking Amish country. Those are the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're still on the fence about Texas. We're not sure because that's still a little ways away.
It's at the end of the year, so we might be able to squeeze Texas in. But Connecticut, I had a free airline ticket
Yeah,
because
and-
it got canceled at the last
and
one.
him and
so-
Tony, they pair
Yeah.
up. You know, Kevin gets the hotel, Tony drives.
Yeah, so
it's like a
I
win-win.
fly in. The hotel is literally in the airport.
Yeah.
So I just stay there, so I don't have to rent a car.
Right.
He drives an hour and a half down from his house, stays
Oh,
at the
that's nice.
hotel with me
Yeah.
the night before, you know, and then
Yep.
you know,
Drives
and the night
around.
up, and the night
Yeah.
of, and he drives me around.
Yeah.
So
and
I
you
pay
get
for
to
the-
be in his new Jeep.
Yeah, so he drives. I don't have to rent a car, so I pay for the hotel.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it is. It's a
Yeah.
nice. It's definitely a nice little gig and stuff. And then when we go to Kentucky, Graham's actually going to go as well, which is going to be cool. So we get to see him and spend some time with him at the Barn Smoker. But he's also going to do Cigar for Warriors and stuff.
yeah, you were
there.
saying, that's
Yeah,
right.
so that's going to be neat. So I get
that'll
to
be
see
cool.
him. Yeah. So
So the event overall was pretty good outside of you stealing the longboard.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It just
It was a good
you know,
event.
it was so hot though, and I felt so bad because it
How
was just
far
like,
is it from your house?
like 3 hours.
3 hours, depending
Yeah.
on traffic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not too bad. And the Crabtrees, they live here in Northport too. They drive. And so they had gotten there an hour before us. And then so they were there when we got there because we stopped in there because we couldn't check into our hotel right away. So then we went and got something to eat, checked in our hotel, and then went back, had a couple cigars, then went to the hotel, and then came back for the event. And it was nice because we got to hang out with them and everything, even though we live in the same town.
Yeah, we never
But
see them.
We never
Yeah,
see
we got to
them.
drive 3 hours every time
Yeah.
we want to see them, and
But
they live
we-
15 minutes from
But
us.
we should just call them and
Yeah.
say, let's go to Northport Smokes, you know,
Yeah.
like catch a
Once you
bus.
get your lounge up, though, I'm sure.
Yeah,
probably
we'll
you'll see more
definitely-
Yeah,
folks
yeah, we'll
having
definitely have
But
some
they
Yeah.
also go out
Yeah.
to South Dakota all the time, and they're
Yeah.
there with Vaughn, you know. From
Yeah, they
Deadwood and
work
stuff,
at
so-
Deadwood, you know, during
Yeah.
the bike week out there. So
which is
Oh,
coming
nice.
up. So
Yeah.
they're gonna
yeah,
they'll probably go to that because I think that's around the same time Kentucky is.
yeah.
So they'll be in
So-
South Dakota. But
South
yes,
Dakota.
South Dakota.
So you guys close Tuesday. When you guys able to move in?
We'll get the
Right
keys at closing.
Okay, so they're all moved out. They're
Yeah, they're
Yep.
signing the paperwork tomorrow.
They're doing
Oh,
the paperwork
oh.
Monday. Then we do a walkthrough Tuesday
Tuesday.
before the close, and then we close, and then
Was there anything that you wanted that needed to be fixed or that needed to be addressed?
there's
What we would like, yes. Were they willing to do it? No.
they were just
No,
difficult.
I-
They were
really?
yeah,
just-
it's
there's-
not to-
They were difficult through the whole thing. I mean, and
Really?
honestly, well,
Oh, it was ridiculous.
it's that kind of
Horrible.
market right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you know, if we said, hey, fix this, like no, and if we said, okay, great, you know, we don't want to
But
buy,
they-
like fine,
They
there's
weren't
3
willing
other
to take
people.
money down.
No, because
No,
there's
please.
every house we've looked at had at least 6 offers thrown in on them.
Including
Mm.
cash ones.
Cash offers where people are going, listen, I'll buy the home, I'll pay $20,000 more than what you're asking for it, no inspection, and then
As is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
as is, and then people are
That's
just
crazy.
people are selling them, and then it's companies, investment companies are coming in,
Yeah.
they're getting their inspectors, they fix up the house, and then they rent them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's what's wrong with the market too.
We
That's-
talked to our neighbor
that's
here.
So
He's-
messed up.
Our neighbor who he's got cigars from me. We smoked a few times, came down. He's like, yeah, I heard you guys are leaving. Yeah, so we're shooting shit. And I was telling him about the new house, and he's like, and we have a nice little development here. You've been here. He's like,
yeah.
Mhm.
he's like, there's like 10 houses in here that are owned by by freaking investment companies. He goes,
Companies.
and he said we want to address it. He goes like it's realizing that that's free market, that's what happens, but it causes a lot of problems when you have so much turnover in homes and certain people. It just isn't good for the neighborhood.
I agree.
It's because we've had quite a few houses here that have been abandoned, and then you pull in and like the first lawn you see is like the grass. I shit you not, it's like 3 feet high.
Yeah.
People who had the house next to our pool, I mean,
it was like 2-3 months.
2-3 months. There's like someone new in there, moving in, moving out, moving in, moving out. And he's just like, yeah, he goes, we hate seeing good neighbors leave. And I said, look, when we kind of got the scare and we started looking for how, we finally called and said, look, we'll buy the house from you.
Right.
I said, we wanted to stay here. And they're like, no. I'm like, all right. Well,
they moving back here? What was the deal? Why were they?
Well, what happened was when we went to renew our lease,
right.
We want to do 2 years, and then we are going to kind of pivot from there, let the market die down. And the guy came back and said, well, we'll do it. They'll do a year. And I said, okay, great. And then he came back and he said, they're selling the home. You got to be out by the end of May.
So why wouldn't they sell the house to you?
Well, what happened was Jen and I were like, crap. So we're like, now what are we going to do? So we started talking about buying a home. And within 24 hours, we had made a decision to buy a home. And then he called.
Yeah, it got pre-approved. We had the ball rolling.
We had everything rolling within 24 hours. And the guy called back and said, oh, they screwed up. There was their other property. So, because I called the guy. I'm like, listen, I said, I understand there's a contract and we have blah, blah, blah. I said, there's no way we're getting out by the end of May. I said, you can't give us a month and a half or 2 months, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'll go back and I'll talk to him. And then he came back and goes, I screwed up. They screwed up. There was their other property that they had. They're going to do a 1-year lease with you. And I said, okay. So we kept looking for houses and we kind of delayed and pushed off deciding the lease. And then we kind of were like at the end of our rope. We're like, we haven't found any new houses. And then we found this house, and then the whole shitstorm happened with this house. So we're like, the house that we put the offer on. So Jen and I were like, let's just freaking offer to buy this home, since the house that we bought now that we're going to close on Tuesday. That's when seller,
they were like changing the price.
Seller came back and said, we're not.
No, they didn't change the price. They wanted to take it back off
the
market.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want to sell now. So we were making a decision to sue them and stay here. And then finally we offered to buy this home, and the guy came back and said they don't want to sell it. So we're like, okay. So we signed the lease, and then we offered them a little bit more for this house, and they took it.
Because the house is move-in ready. It's not like what needs to be fixed is like, the house is going to cave in on us.
Right.
Yeah. But in this market, it's a seller's market.
Yeah, buyers have no.
And we had already
power.
locked into a lower interest rate, paid down points. If we didn't go for this house, interest rates are already going up. We would lose the rate going for a different house. We had a rock solid contract. So what do? Do you go do litigation? But if you do litigation, you can't go for another home.
And that takes the lawyer told us it takes about 2 years now to go through any type of litigation when it comes to property. And it was pretty rock solid.
Yeah.
And we could either sue for damages or we could sue for the home. So when we said sue for damages, I added up everything, including if we were to pull out of this deal and put an offer on another home and go just 1% higher on the interest rate, our damages were well over $100,000.
Yeah.
And I said, and the guy said, look, you could either give me X amount of money to sue them or offer it to them. You want the home that bad, I'd offer them more money. We offered them more money and they took it. But the market now is just, normally there's a lot more negotiations, a lot more, hey, if you leave this, can you fix this?
Right.
Fix that. Hey, pay for freaking half the closing, whatever offers. Now it's like, if you don't want to buy my home, I don't give a fuck. There's 5 people behind you who want to buy it.
Yeah.
But they're the type of people that even with going higher on the purchase, which it's still appraised for that. So it's fine because it's a great home, half an acre, wooded stream, like really absolutely beautiful home. And it's going to increase in equity quite quickly.
Right.
Regardless of that, they had a washer and dryer. All the appliances are included except for a fridge, which is fine because we're going to get a new one, and the washer and dryer. And we were going to buy that from them because it was a reasonable price they were offering. So we're like, well,
it's like $600
why
fucking
don't they just throw it in since we're paying them more money? Do you know they said no?
Really? For that?
Yeah.
Did you tell them, fuck it, take your washer and dryer?
No, our realtor says it's taken care of. I said, well, what do you mean it's taken care of? They said no. She goes, it's just taken care of. You have the washer and
Our
dryer.
realtor ended up buying
She gifted
it
it to us.
Oh, that was so nice.
Isn't that
she
sweet?
got more. She got more commission because we gave more money. So,
but isn't that
it was very
up?
sweet. She didn't have
They
to do
wouldn't
that.
throw
I
in the
joke
washer
around.
and dryer like such assholes.
Because what happened was they were like, well, we know they're good people now. Then if they offered us more money, another person that
clearly they're not good people.
values your freaking goodness based off of money.
Yeah,
and I said to the lawyer, I go, hey, listen, since we're good people, we offer money. Why don't they show how good they are and throw in the washer and dryer? And they're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, that's
at
least nothing failed, right?
Yeah.
Like the roof is good. Like
Well, we get hailstorms all the time.
The roof is good. The roof is good.
It
There
needs
was some hole that you could tell that like some carpenter bees put some holes in a soffit and stuff like that. And in a normal situation, it would have been
negotiate that,
fix that or knock money off. But we're like, you know what, man? It's
the equity is worth it. It's gonna, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, just beautiful deck, French doors going out to it.
Yeah.
Huge kitchen, just an awesome living space.
And it will be yours, so you can do what you please with it at this point, and that
really doesn't need any work whatsoever. It's just what we want to do on the outside. And
we've already looked at the cabin after talking to you. Looking into
the water heater.
We've already looked into that.
Thanks for that. Now that's my Google News feed is full of tankless water heaters. Google thinks I'm interested in that. Gas ones. So now every day I'm reading one.
And he's like, I don't even have a gas water heater.
I'm fucking thanking you, Kev.
Yeah, I know.
That's what you say. That's what you say. Hey, Kerr, you know what? I'm glad I could help out. Now my whole news feed.
Yeah, I was going to tell you. So I forgot to send you the article because they were saying on the gas tankless water heaters, there's two. One that has a pilot light that's on all the time, and then they have ones that have intermittent pilot light that comes on when ready. Saves you a little bit more gas. So so I know a lot about tankless gas water heaters. So. And the electric ones, I think definitely next time I'm going with one for sure.
Kev helped us out. Now he's forced. He's like, God damn it, it's on my freaking. I gotta read it. I gotta learn more.
I know. I gotta learn more.
I got time.
Do you think my parents' table's worth money?
Why? I don't know why.
Well, because she's asking. She's like, "Why did you want the pictures?" And I said, "Kevin thinks your table's worth money." You're welcome.
Yeah.
So she's gonna now ask you.
Tell me you saw the same thing on Antique Roadshow and it's worthless.
Yeah.
My mom will be like, Kevin, tell me what you think about my table.
No, because then she's gonna want me to sell it, and then I'll be the middleman, and then she'll slip me a 20 afterwards. Here's for all your work.
You got to demand a percentage, Kev.
No, they're not. They're not selling the table. They're just leaving it. That table's not moving. Nobody's moving that table.
So we go through the walkthrough, and then after the closing, first thing I'm doing is going out in the garage and checking out the storage because I thought the same thing, Kev. I was like, man, that's really cool. That's 1 2x4 hold that thing up. What are they? Are they storing pillows up there?
I know, and then they didn't even do it as a dead man underneath. They bolted a 2x4 to the side, so all the structure is being held by what, 3 screws?
We'll FaceTime you, Kevin.
So my goal is to go in there, assess the situation, measure it out, and see how much wood I got to buy to strengthen this whole area, and then.
We go get you one?
No, I said let me have a drag of your cigar.
Okay.
Drag.
Yeah.
But then I'm gonna look. Then I'm gonna frame it in and hang drywall or maybe or whatever to wall that off so I could put storage stuff behind it and hide it, and then that's gonna be the new lounge.
Yeah. Now I'm just interested because it kind of goes up at an angle where it's attached to the wall. I'm hoping that goes directly into studs.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
hoping for too.
And hopefully they lagged them in, not just put screws in, but actual lag bolts
Right.
through the studs. So
'Cause I the way I look at it is this: is I'm probably not going to store a lot of heavy shit on top. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure that it's going to be if I got to strengthen it to be able to wall it off, hang some drywall, or maybe some repurposed wood, and then the garage is going to be the office lounge area.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Looking at doing the water heater, which will be nice. And Jennifer keeps insisting on wanting to look and see about redoing the floor.
Just because the cars aren't going in there, the driveway is plenty big enough. We don't use the garage space for
Right.
vehicles, and why? And there's you
If
can
you're
see
gonna
the
do it
oil
now,
stains.
do it
and
now while there's nothing
the
in there.
garage is empty.
Right.
Get the
But
floor done.
I think it's going to be a lot of money to because I've seen some of these guys can redo
What do you think,
floors.
Kevin? Why don't you
Well-
Google it and tell us about
I mean,
floors and garages?
Goddamn news feed.
what I would go is I would go down to your local Home Depot and rent a floor scrubber with a diamond grit pad on there and sand down all of your floors and then get it prepped, so clean it, pressure wash it after that, and then just do a roll on 3M epoxy floor to last forever.
Just do it ourselves.
Just do it yourselves. Yeah, I mean it's next to nothing,
Yeah,
but like I said, that
That's an
machine.
idea.
That machine you rent at Home Depot, it'll be fucking around with that machine. It'll fuck your day up. It'll get.
I redid my hardwood floors and rented the sand, the floor sander.
So imagine that sander 100 times worse when you're doing it on concrete.
I seen
So
the
Joe won't
guy
be
scrubbing the
operating.
concrete. I
Joe
see the
would be
guys.
like
No,
a ride.
Yeah.
I saw the guys scrubbing the concrete when they came over and did our driveway.
Yeah,
I was like, Jesus, that thing is amazing.
yeah. I would call a company to come out and prep the floors. Like, hey, I can roll the floors because it's just a couple of 5-gallon buckets. You mix part A with part B, mix it, you roll it on, sprinkle your flakes, to give it kind of a textured grip, and you're good to go. It's
Yeah.
super easy. You can buy a kit for your garage, probably $240 for the kit.
Yeah.
I can't see a company charging more than a couple $100
But
to come out and prep the floors
and like
for
when
you.
Kevin prepped our floors for the addition, he sanded it and everything, and then he stained it, and the stain cost what, $200?
Yeah, and that was brand new concrete.
Yeah.
They have an older with some I would epoxy
The
that.
house is 15
There's
years
some
old.
cracks and stuff
Yeah.
in it because
Yeah.
I looked into years ago when I redid my kitchen in Harrisburg. I looked into doing concrete countertops and doing that whole thing.
God,
And,
I love those.
I mean, but then it was like, you know what, man, for the funkiness and the cost of it.
Yeah,
I just basically, because our countertops were, it was just not a normal straight L.
Yeah.
It had this really weird middle, and it was a house from the 50s. So the original countertops actually had this thing in the middle of the countertop with caps on it. When you took the caps off of it, it was a blender. It was actually a blender body and or the guts, and then all you had to do is just pop the blender on top of it and twist the freaking thing and blend it. When you're done, you put the cap back on.
Yeah. But yeah, then you got to just think about, because the garage is empty right now. So when it's full of stuff, you get put in a lounge, you're putting a chair. So you got to think, how much of the floor are you ever going to see? So
I just thought it'd be nice to be done
Yeah.
while it's empty and while we're still in this house. We're trying to figure out.
It's
going to be up
yeah.
in West Virginia for an event beginning of June. We need to get this house ready, so we can be done with it. So, when do we?
Yeah, if you don't
fully start going,
if you don't do it before you move in, you're never going to do it.
Exactly, that's my point.
I also want to assess it though too, because I could, I know we have a carpet, but you could get freaking flooring pretty cheap. But I don't know how
my
else
question is: don't you want to also wait till you remove the water heater? Because wouldn't you have a patch then that's not done?
No, because it's like up on a little.
Yeah, it's on a stand.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have that.
Yeah, but it would. Then I mean, everything.
The stand would go away.
Yeah, yeah. That's where you just put a coffee table.
Put a humidor.
Yeah.
I'm just saying though, there
that-
would be
yeah,
a
I
section.
But
understand.
yeah,
that
but
Where you
I
put the
don't.
humidor,
Yeah,
Jess.
but I don't know about doing flooring in a
just
garage.
thinking ahead.
You know, like where you live, like you'd have to talk to a flooring
because
guy.
of the temperature.
The
change in
temperature. Yeah, I don't know
Oh,
on
yeah.
flooring out, on a garage, so I don't know what the long term of that would be.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
flooring right now, I mean, it's expensive, and if you're not going to do it yourself, I mean,
Shit, you can buy those sticky tiles now, like in the sticky carpets. You ever see those squares?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
Like in an
yeah,
office?
I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, there are
Yeah,
things
no,
you can do.
When we've gone over to that restore, they've actually had stacks of interlocking the flooring and
Oh nice.
and they're brand new, still in the box, just selling it for freaking dirt cheap. So I mean, there's a couple options there. I never did ask you guys what you were smoking tonight.
Test blends.
Yeah, we started off with the number 2, and now I'm smoking.
I started off with the number.
We both started off with number
1.
2.
Oh, I thought it.
Yeah, and then I'm
one.
smoking another number 1 now.
Did you smoke number 3 yet?
Not yet.
Oh, so I smoked a number 2.
Yeah.
That wasn't a number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Number 1 and number 2 were good.
All right.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is the first I smoked anything. So number 2.
Kev, you got to check these out. This is the new Diesel Uncut.
Oh, I saw that online. How
Yeah.
are you liking it?
Closed foot. I mean,
Haven't smoked it yet.
No, I smoked them before.
Oh, did you? Did you?
Yeah, for the
okay.
price, they're freaking. It's a great cigar.
Nice.
I mean, I think they're like 10 packs, like $25, $27 on Myron Dutch.
Damn.
Yeah,
What are you
I
doing?
mean,
I am.
He's looking up garage stuff.
no,
Is he
no.
looking up floors?
Yeah, because I want to
Yeah.
send you something.
I seen those
So-
epoxy kits because I was going to redo my floor in Pittsburgh in a garage at one point because the floor was actually in good shape. It didn't need a lot of, there wasn't any cracks in it, and around here too. I also want to make sure if there's any draining, we got to make sure that's
Yeah.
clear in case anything happens.
And the other thing we can do is, make a little pathway going down to the creek, and where Kerr's going to have his little smoking table right on the edge of the creek, because there's a nice little kind of cliff area, not
Oh,
cliff, like just a
cool.
little, I don't know what you call it, edge, that little area that comes out above the creek.
Oh yeah, it's a little ledge that overlooks like the creek area.
Kind of put some stones.
So I'm sitting there looking at that, going, it's pretty stable. Good solid area. It's you could maybe put some pavers and a little table down there, and
Oh, cool.
hang some lights.
Yeah.
Run it up there, and
Oh, it's
and
nice.
hang out outside and smoke some cigars. Maybe put some mosquito netting around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I sent you a link on plastic floor tiles. I sent you Swiss Track. They're the most expensive, but they're the best there is. There's other companies that make the same thing, and they're plastic 12 by 12 tiles, and you just put them down. They snap, they interlock. They actually have drainage, so you can actually spill a drink, and
Oh,
it'll actually go through it and then run off.
Oh,
And
that's
then you could do checkerboards. You could do a solid
cool. Are we
color.
gonna do
So that would be
ours?
neat.
No.
I'm like, that would be really
I like the
cool,
idea of the
Kevin.
Yeah.
checkerboard.
Checkerboard square.
Did you just say no?
Yeah. No, we're just gonna acid
I'll-
stain our concrete, just like we did the
What are
rest
you
of the
talking
house.
about? I'm not talking about in the lounge. I'm talking about in the garage.
Yeah, we could do it in the garage.
That's what I was
Yeah.
saying. That's why I
Yeah.
looked at
We're
you.
talking
like, why
about
are you
garages.
telling me
We're
no?
not talking about
Yeah.
lounges.
Yeah.
Listen, selfish person over here
Yeah.
is all like, what?
You
I
asked me
already
a
knew
question.
what
You
we
got
were
them
doing.
all rolling now.
I apparently.
Now, do you have a shed? Did this one have a shed or no?
No, we do
Oh,
want to
okay.
find a space for one. Either that, or what we can do is underneath our deck, if somehow we could enclose it, but it's not going to have a lot of height.
Yeah, you'd have to do some digging. Which
Yeah.
I'd rather not do. I think that there is going to be some room where the way the driveway comes down, and then there's a little area. I think there's some area back there that might be flat enough to put a shed.
Well, they
and
also make those sheds that you could put on the side of your house that you could at least put like a push mower and some
yeah, I
shovels
mean,
and all that stuff.
we got and I now that we have our own place, everything, I want to be able to kind of beef back up my my tools and yard stuff, because when I was living in Pittsburgh, when I moved into my apartment, I sold a lot of tools.
Mhm.
I had everything from tile cutters to everything else, from remodeling my homes, and just kind of sold them off and gave them to my brother-in-law and stuff. And
Yeah.
I had a lot of lawn equipment. I actually had a wood chipper at one point. It was
Oh
a
my God,
decent
that's
sized
awesome.
wood chipper. And
Is that underneath my dad's
it was under her
deck?
dad's deck because I gave it to my brother-in-law, and then he
Yeah.
didn't want it anymore. And I was like, and my brother-in-law, God, I love my sister, my brother-in-law, but it's like I'll have something and I'll keep it for like 10 years, 12 years, whatever. I mean, I have, my circular saw. I think I've had, since Emma. It's my daughter's birthday today. She's 17.
Happy
Aw.
birthday, Emma.
Happy birthday, Emma.
She goes by Vinny now, so but still,
Okay.
I've had that saw for like 15 years. And I know people are like, "Yeah, I had to buy another saw." And I don't use it every day. I'm not a construction worker,
Right.
but I use it. We've used it regularly. So I had all these different tools, and I sold them all. So I want to it's kind of tough because I want to have the lounge, but then I want to actually have an area that's kind of sectioned off for the tools and stuff. And I think I all kind of figured out where it's going to be.
Yeah.
Just whether or not the space wants to be friendly with me or not.
The biggest challenge we're gonna have, believe it or not, out of everything, is where is Cooper gonna poop? Let me tell you, Cooper, when we lived in Taylor's, he was the neighbor's dog, and then we adopted him, was so particular that we had to walk him down this one cul-de-sac, and there was this small wooded area, and it's the only place he would poop for the longest time. We could only walk him. He wouldn't go in the backyard.
It sounds like my parents' dog.
So-
He would hold that in.
He would.
Hold it, yeah.
And we don't have a
Motherfucker.
fenced-in yard, and with his bad hips, we're gonna have to bring him out through the garage because he can't. I don't think he'll manage the deck stairs.
I think his area is going to be in the front off, to
And
the
he's not going to
side.
poop on the deck like he does at my dad's house.
Yeah, it's just so gross.
Is there an Amber Alert?
Yeah.
Tornado.
Amber
Amber
alert,
alert.
300 miles away. Yeah.
Okay, keep an eye out for the car.
Yeah, those scare the fuck out of me too. We'll
So
get them in the middle of the night.
Vinny must be a popular name nowadays because Gabby was going by Vinny for a while.
No, Viz.
Well, it was Vincent.
No, it was Vincent, and
Yeah.
then Viz is now the nickname. She
Well,
goes
because
by.
Viz is like his.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's that character that's online. It's a person. Like I bought a whole bunch of stuff. It's a guy. He does like some YouTube stuff.
Oh, because that's also
He's a character.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't
that's
know
all.
that.
That's also the
Yeah.
name that they use in their community. Viz.
Oh, well, it's
Yeah.
a character.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Oh,
because it's
didn't
a,
know.
It was like Sure with an SHIR. They like to be called
Oh.
Sure.
well, it's
Shim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's
I was
a
gonna say Shim, but no, they do not like being called that.
so.
They
So there's this thing
do
called.
not make that mistake.
So there's this thing
Twice.
called Redbubble, and they sell a whole bunch of different cool like.
Oh, I
You
bought
know.
T-shirts.
Oh yeah, I
on
love
Redbubble.
Redbubble. So I found these cool face masks for this Viz. So it was like it's like a stormy cloud or a rainbow, and then it's his face. He kind of looks like a mime almost. It's really weird.
Mm.
He's a character. He's a YouTube
right.
like sensation, and
There's Squid Game mask.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had bought her some of those, but yeah, so that. Yeah, but yeah, it was Vincent for a little bit.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like I want to go by Vinny and
Whatever.
they them, and you know what? I have no problem at
Nope.
all with that at all.
No.
I guess I get hung up on the proper
She. Yeah.
what?
When you
No.
say no, like
No.
when you say she, like is that
It's the proper plural and singular.
Mm.
Is that
They
I
them
get
is plural.
I get
That's-
really like wrapped around the axle just because of the proper English. Because I've seen folks go, well, what do they want? And the people like, well, who's they? Well, they right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
I see.
they? No, they. And they, them. And
Yeah.
then I've actually just deferred to the Z,
Yeah.
because that is the, it's like, hey, where is Z going? Is Z going here? Is Z going there? Or you use their name. But to use a plural in instead of a singular,
Yeah.
yeah, I
and-
get
and-
what you're saying.
and understanding that the singular is a masculine or a feminine, but the plural is kind of not, it's still misusing a plural in in place of a singular.
Yeah.
And that boggles my mind. And I know some jackasses would be like, well, you're not. I'm like, no, this has nothing to do with my beliefs or my.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fucking easygoing guy. Has nothing to do with that. My problem is more with the assault on the English language versus the assault on the freaking identity of the individual. So get off your fucking high horse and stop fucking judging me, because they doesn't go well when you're talking about an individual. I'm sorry. It just, I have a, please come up with a different freaking pronoun that's going to make sense singularly and not confuse everyone else, because you're going to force me to go against everything I've been taught and been beaten by nuns to freaking remember that they is a group.
So we used to call her Grandma Pat. My parents, before she kind of got dementia, had to move back up. She was an English teacher for like 40 years. And so we were always using, and she like if it was a gross misconduct of English, she would, and she wouldn't like lambaste you. She's like, hey, just to let you know, she would teach it. And then Amber one day used the word eat in a past tense and said she'd already eaten.
Oh Lord.
Kills me.
So my mom said something to Amber, and then Grandma Pat was there, and I'm like, Grandma Pat, like, is that bad? And she's like thinking, she's like, I'm gonna allow that one. She's like, that one kind of makes sense. Aiton, so we're like, yes, we got one in.
Made up word.
Yeah. This woman though on Scrabble, it was like, you never challenged her. Like, I don't know that word. She's like, challenge me, and I'm like, no, it's
right.
That's funny.
So we got to find Cooper a poop spot. And how to get him in the backyard.
Poor Coopy.
He's gonna be so
He's
scared.
gonna be in the front. He'll be fine. He'll be in the front. It's just he gets all freaked out, and God
he's
Almighty,
very particular.
The worst was in the old house is the rain. It would rain, and one of the reasons why we stopped looking at houses in Taylor's is just because that area, although I love that area, horrible runoff. It's like every single freaking development that was built or built-in, which I'm sure would be appropriate, was built by someone who was like, I don't give a fuck where the water goes.
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to, just put a house there.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's fine. And then there's so many houses that have flooded freaking areas and been freaking water. There are areas where it's like, how about it? When I lived in the apartment, the area in between the road and where the apartment was, it looked like a fucking river.
It's like flash flood
I'm sitting there going,
Yeah.
if a 4-year-old child or younger even went near that, they'd get swept away.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's how bad it was. And oh my God, we've seen new construction where every time it rain, you drive by it, looked like freaking, it looks like they should be stocking the freaking front lawn with some bass, because it looks like a fucking pond in our front yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Stella who, if it rains, forget it.
Oh.
So now we're going into rainy season, and if we don't get her out there before the ground is soggy or wet, forget it.
Oh, she does not like getting her vagina wet.
She will not go. She will not go out.
That's thunder and lightning. If it's before bed and we're having a storm, I have to try to walk Cooper out front on a leash.
But he's gotten to the point now, if it rains hard, he assumes thunder and lightning are going to come.
Yeah. That is,
and
Stella.
he gets chicken shit like it's raining. I'm like, it's fucking rain, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Stella's the same way. But it's almost like she also knows something's coming, because she'll start way before the clouds even start to turn.
Oh yeah, she'll see her shaking. She'll try and crawl underneath my office desk,
and we're like, what the hell? And then like maybe 20-30 minutes later, it's like a monsoon, and I'm like, oh my God. But she, like, you're right, as soon as it rains, she thinks it's thunder and lightning.
I'll sit out, forget it. I'll be sitting here working and it'll start getting cloudy, and I know it's gonna rain. No thunder, no lightning. And when I go back in the house, the door going in the garage, I'll open it and boom,
there's
freaking Cooper's like laying right against that door. And that's wherever he's scared, that's his area.
And then he goes into the bathroom with you.
And then it's like, I'll sit down to take a shit, and it's like, And then he comes in and sits in front of me, and I'm like, "Oh my God, Cooper, you've been in our bathroom downstairs.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
big enough for a large mammal like me and a big fat
Yeah.
dog."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Cooper, seriously?" I'm like, "Listen, I know you're afraid, but
Well,
Stella
it's like
used to do that with you.
it's
when
like
you could go-
Skylar though. Like
Oh.
she doesn't get afraid. She just wants to be in the bathroom with you. She curls up on the
She-
rug,
She's
and
supposed
then-
to be in there.
and then when you leave, she leaves. You know, she just wants to be in there with you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
so.
Sky's not. She'll go out in the storm and be like, "Meh."
Yeah,
There you go.
Skylar is hooked on cords.
She likes all the electronics.
Anything electric, like she'll lay down on an extension cord.
Hmm.
Like she'll get underneath my desk, and she loves putting her head
I
like
don't
on the
know.
backup.
I wonder if she
Weird.
could
power.
feel like.
I think she
Really?
can feel. Yeah, when she
Does
comes
she
in
want to
here,
get electrocuted or?
feels
it's
the
some-
warmth."
no,
It's weird.
no, it's even like or headphone cords that are
She
dangling
just-
underneath.
She wants to.
She
touch
like
it.
rubs up against them like a cat,
Huh,
and she
yeah,
like
that's
she
weird.
wants to stand there. It's something with dogs and electricity, like Cooper and Stella. The electricity in the air, I
Yeah.
think, scares them.
But she like
Skylar
craves
loves
it.
it.
She's
She-
like,
Yeah.
looks for it. You know, she's not afraid of
No shit.
anything,
That's
which
crazy.
it cracks me up. But yeah,
Aw. I just
freaking
got a
dogs.
Happy Mother's Day message from Duncan.
Aw, that's
Oh,
very
that's
sweet.
sweet.
That's because I said his mother Happy Mother's
Oh.
Day.
Felt like a fault.
Well,
Never mind.
I got a voice Happy Mother's Day from Ronnie from Secreto. It was a cute little voice message. I was like, oh,
But
I saw
Duncan's
he-
always good with wishing
he
you happy
is.
birthday and,
Yeah,
and
he-
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, he
is.
sings me
He's family.
songs. He is.
He is.
Yeah, I
Duncan-
saw Secreto is sending you chocolates, so you better put them in the freezer. Is what they put
Oh,
on,
yeah, they're-
Oh, they already
They're-
came. They're melted.
no,
Solid.
I just ate like 2 of them.
Yeah.
They were good after like they reformed. They were good, but yeah, he sent me that and Steve Saka mug, and then I got the new Aventura cigar. It's
Oh,
just
nice.
a
Oh,
new
nice.
size and stuff, so I haven't tried it yet. So I gotta smoke it soon.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was very, very sweet of them. But Ronnie and his wife Allie are gonna have a little girl.
Aw.
So
Good for them.
they
Congratulations.
found out that they're having a baby, and then they found out the sex. So you know,
Oh, that's awesome.
crazy. Ronnie and a baby. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Especially when one lives in Pennsylvania and the other lives in Michigan.
Yeah. Well,
they-
they'll
they have-
figure it out. That's
And
their
they have
life.
no plans on moving
Yeah, but that's
Really?
their
either one
life.
of them anytime
Yeah.
soon.
That's their life. That's their
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
to figure out. Good luck. That's I mean, at the
I was
end of
gonna
the
say,
day,
man, is at least Western
rough.
Pennsylvania?
she lives oh god, what is that part
Well,
of PA that she lives in?
She does live pretty close to because in Malvern, where Craig goes to one of his local shops, like
that's
she's the rep, and I think that's fairly close. I don't know if that's Western. I don't know where Malvern is.
I don't. No, that's not Western.
Yeah.
Kevin again proving.
Yeah. No. So
geography,
yeah.
not strength.
Where is that? Where's
That's
that
their
at?
Philly.
Go opposite.
That's
Oh, is it?
That's
Okay, so-
that's on the other side of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's closer to wherever she's at then.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, not on the not.
I mean,
west.
she could probably live north of there, but still, that's still Eastern Pennsylvania. You still probably got a good 3 to 4 hour drive.
she can
in
fly from Philly
Pennsylvania.
to Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, that she does like
Well, I'm not.
Yeah.
Let's not try to guess what anybody does because we don't
Yeah.
really know.
I
We're
know
just
they.
speculating.
Yeah, I know they have been flying back and forth.
Yeah.
Or she has.
Yeah.
So, but
There's a couple. You got Philly, Allentown, Harrisburg. Those are a
Yeah, I
couple
was gonna
bigger,
say
small airports in
I
that
know
area.
it's Allentown because I think Ronnie has even mentioned that they
Yeah,
he is
yeah,
flown
they-
to Allentown.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's little airports you can fly into. They're all
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
Allentown.
good.
I
Yeah.
love flying into Allentown.
But
so-
that's her. That's where she her territory manager is for Drew Estate. It's on that
Okay,
over in that
Yeah.
area.
But they'll figure it
So-
out. Everybody, it's all.
there he is. He's home. He's
Coming
got
in hot.
garbage
Don't
work.
watch
He's
the
got-
Bronco Joseph turn that wheel.
Joe comes in the driveway a little too hot sometimes.
Yeah.
He's a
And,
teenager.
Pull the car up.
Just
Why is he parking all
go
the way
tell
down
him
there?
and tell him he's got
Pull
garbage
the
work.
car
How awesome would that be? The car come through the
I know.
desk.
All of a sudden
Oh
see
my
it.
god, that'd be on TikTok in 8 minutes.
There's been times where I'm working and he'll come pulling in and he comes pulling in hot and he's almost hit the bushes. He's actually hit some of the bricks and it's like I see the car go boom. And then one day I walked out there and I'm like, yo, scraping some red paint on the right front fender. That wasn't me. I was like, well, the way you came in is pointing to It probably was you.
Yeah, it
I
was
don't
like
want that. I don't
it
know
was
what
like
you're talking about.
it was like that when I got in. Yes.
Listen, I will admit this. When I was around his age and I was like driving, I backed into my dad's truck, which is red, right, bright red. And I think my car was like a light like gray or whatever. And like I scraped my dad's truck a little bit and then like pulled up and was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna say anything. And so my dad like, knocks on my door in the morning and comes in, he's like, hey, did you hit my truck? And I'm like, no. He's like, well, the red fucking paint that's on your car and the scrapes on my truck says that you hit my truck. I was like, oh, did I? Oh, I didn't think I actually hit it. And he's like, Jess, he's like, you fucking scraped
That's
it.
the worst when you try and lie. When you know there's so much goddamn evidence there. It's like,
take it to the grave.
But it was
Take
like,
it to
the
deny.
no idea what you're talking about, Dad.
Just
No
deny
idea.
it.
No idea what you're talking about.
But yeah, I was like, fuck.
He only
Like,
parked at the
hoping you
bottom
didn't
because the
notice.
Broncos down there.
Yeah, no, when I saw the little bit of damage in the paint, I was like, Joe, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I seen you come in hot before. No, I'm like, all right, okay. Like you said, been there, done that. It's like when you hit something, you're like, okay, I can get away with this one because there's any damage.
Oh yeah.
Wait, there's a little bit of paint in the bumper. Hold on. You're smart back in those days where the bumpers were chrome. It's like,
oh yeah.
Now the freaking you hit the bumper, the whole thing like rips apart and crumbles and falls apart.
I know. Instant crack. It's like in that same truck, because it was stick, my dad was teaching me how to drive it. So I thought I was doing really good. I'm driving up like on this hill and they had like a barbed wire fence to block off property. And I thought I put it in part, had it all set. It rolled down the hill. The barbed wire stopped it, but it got stuck in the grill. That barbed wire was there until finally he got rid of that truck and totaled it and stuff. But I mean, I freaking done some shit to those vehicles.
I got my brother's pickup truck. He had a 3 on the tree. And I was driving, we were upstate, and and we always went upstate for family vacations and shit. And when I got older, we'd go up there and we were sneaking my aunt's old Milwaukee's, So we went driving the dirt roads up the mountain and shit. And, that's back when you don't realize that when you hit water on the side of the road, on a dirt road, especially where there's a little bit of a groove, it just sucks you.
Oh, yeah.
I hit this water, it sucked me into the side of the freaking mountain. I put a big groove in the side. He never freaking knew it. I drove back, parked it back to the spot. Yeah, Tony, you don't know everything's good. We're good to go, buddy. My brother just runs into shit. He doesn't even realize what he's doing.
Oh my God, that's funny. Oh man. So
this is the last episode of season 4.
Wow.
Yes.
Already?
I know.
Already, yeah.
It's crazy. It's exciting to end it this way, though. You guys are going to be coming back with reports of being settled into your new place.
Yeah.
We'll have reports of
barn
smokers and eating food and all kinds of meats on a battleship.
I'm excited to hear about that one because that's pretty cool, man.
That's like a month from now.
Yeah. Still though, because I was with a company that did one of their national meetings was on the deck of a freaking carrier.
So cool.
And it was really cool. And what's his name? Peterman from Seinfeld was the MC.
Yeah.
Oh, how fun.
So yeah, I mean, anytime you're on that, the whole thing, it was such a blast, man.
A carrier would be cool, but I'm more excited on the battleship because I can't wrap my head around how big the guns are. Mm-hmm. So I've seen people standing next to them, so the guns are massive. So to be able to touch one and be there, that's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
When you get up close, you're like, this looks fake. Like this looks like a prop from a movie. It's like, no, I couldn't imagine being around when those things are being fired.
Oh yeah, and then especially the history of the New Jersey. It's got the most decorated history of any battleship ever.
Surprisingly,
yeah.
And you're going to be in the murder capital of New Jersey.
Camden, we'll be all right.
Yeah, we are not wandering far. So the hotel,
Kevin's not.
The hotel is on airport property. the battleship is 10 minutes away. The after party's 5 minutes
Right.
away. Then we're back at the hotel.
Yeah.
Good. I was
Kevin's
gonna
got
say
his agenda.
either vehicles are always gassed up and never stop at red lights or stop signs.
Yeah.
You do the Jersey roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Kevin will be okay. He'll survive.
Yeah.
He's
We're
used-
not going to
he-
venture more than
Listen.
15 minutes away from the
listen,
hotel.
You're going to be fine. Don't.
I know
don't-
I'm going to be fine.
Listen. Calm down.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay.
Oh, we saw a guy riding a horse up our road
What?
today.
yeah?
Really?
Yeah,
That's
the main
amazing.
road outside. Just
Huh.
moseying
Driving
on
down the road
along.
and just goes. Jen goes, "Is that a guy on a horse?"
That cowboy.
And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, I read that the black cowboys have been around in town." We drove by. I was like, "You're not a
because
black cowboy."
there is a black cowboy group in
Yeah.
Greenville. You actually will
cool.
see them riding around. It
It
wasn't
was a
him.
movie.
It was a movie
Yeah.
too. Actually,
Okay.
I
based
think
out
that's
of
I think
awesome.
Idris Elba was in it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, it was not
I think
them.
so.
And this horse looked just as sad as the guy riding it.
Aw.
I don't know where they were
Aw.
going.
it honestly looked
His,
like
his truck broke down. He had to go get beer, Jen. He didn't
I'm
have a
not
lawnmower.
He was just, and the horse wasn't freaked out by the cars.
Yeah. it
Ah.
almost looked like this time portal opened up because the guy was rough looking. Like
Yeah,
he literally
like
looked
a
like you
homeless
would
guy
expect
riding a horse.
a freaking old freaking cowboy.
You're
who's
going to read
out in the
tomorrow.
sun.
Homeless guy stole a horse from somewhere.
I know.
Yeah.
He was driving down. The horse is like, help,
Yeah.
help. His cars are going by. But we drove by and I was like, no, it's not the black cowboy. And that guy looked really rough. Like
Did he have like boots on and stuff? And like, did he look
No.
like he was ready
He
to
was-
ride a horse?
He-
Looked-
no, not at all. He looked like he was ready to walk into a liquor store
Yeah. He
and get
looked
himself a little bottle.
he looked like he was riding a range in
Joe
the
got
sun for
Joe
a long
took
time.
pictures. I was just mesmerized. I should have got my
And-
phone out.
And I said, he is from the Caucasus Mountains. He's from the
Yeah.
he's from the
Yeah.
that man is Caucasian.
That baby's
he
got
looked-
a 720 credit score.
Yeah, that man, right? I'm sorry, sir. I apologize. I'll be working for you someday. But
Hmm.
I just he looked rough. He looked like he was
Yeah.
out in the sun.
And it was an old horse. He was
he
just
did. That's why I said it looked like it was like a time, like he just
That
kind of like
is
the time
so
portal because
bizarre.
he looked like he should have been out on the dusty plains
Yes.
riding, not down the street
He
from
should have
freaking
been-
MMR freaking Pattern
industry.
Works. You know,
Yeah.
That's the stuff that makes you feel like you're in the Twilight Zone. You're like,
it was odd. And
that
we
goes
went,
through a wormhole.
we went to
like,
we were
what
on
happened?
our way to Greenfield Bagels to have lunch.
and down here, like we talk about Strasbourg, like back home
Right.
and some of the areas I worked in, I called on some doctors that still had horse ties in their parking lots because
I
of
mean,
the area.
I
I
get
mean,
it. Yeah,
I
you
can
get-
understand
yeah.
that.
Outside-
but
I'm
this
saying-
was a main hot road.
yeah, but
People flying.
I'm saying it's you don't know what I'm fucking talking about. I'm saying I have been like in that area where I'm from and Strasbourg on the area, there's freaking horse buggies and horses all over the place.
Yeah, it's
common.
understandable.
Yeah,
It's
we have
not
a
here.
in the next
No.
town over Venice. What is the sports place? I forget. I went to school with the family.
What?
God.
What do you wait
In Venice,
in Venice?
over there by the Target. What is the Cook Sportland? So the Cook family has
I
been
do not know
been
that.
in this area for like 125 years. Like they were the last stop before Fort Myers. Like there was a 2-lane dirt trail, and you tie up your horse. They still have the horse ties out front.
Yeah.
But yeah, you bought all your supplies and everything else for your last trip before it's 125 miles to the next
Oh, how cool
to
is
the
that? I
next
didn't know
town.
that.
And
That's
yeah, you bought all
neat.
your guns, your black powder.
Oh, that's
um,
really cool.
Well,
I
you're
did
the-
not know
yeah.
that.
The
Well,
Druid
because
State.
it's Taylor Ranch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that's interesting.
Yeah, the Taylors were
Yeah.
across the street. Yeah.
across the street. So that's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, when you have a long trip like that, you probably got like a little Mass General before you freaking get off
Yeah.
of your big old.
Oh yeah. Well, and
Dusty
then
road.
like the Taylors were the other family. So imagine one family owning like Savannah,
land.
like Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was the Taylors here.
yeah.
right.
Like they just owned like
All the
Savannah.
land. It was insane.
You know, like
It's
you
crazy.
like they didn't even know, like you couldn't ride across the property. It was just so big. They didn't
What?
even know what they had.
I chuckled
Yeah.
when I saw the. I did look up the Pennsylvania barn smoker, and as I was looking through, I saw that they're going to have Hess barbecue for the Hess barbecue.
Okay.
As who's going to be catering it, and I laughed because Hess is a common name in that area.
Oh, is it?
And,
Okay.
And I used to call in a doctor's office that was in between Gettysburg and Chambersburg, which is pretty much south central, like the Pennsylvania, in the middle of nowhere. And this place, they still had the horse ties because people tied horses to it. It just wasn't there because they used to tie horses to it.
Right.
And all the nurses were still dressed in his old, like Jacob's Ladder, old nursing white.
Wow.
Creepy as shit.
all the doctors had the long beards, the mustaches, and the office was Robert Hess Sr. And it was Hess Coda. It was like Robert S. Sr., Robert S. Jr., Robert S. the third, and they were all family. They're all related.
Yeah.
And then this one guy, he's a physician assistant, Coda, and I had a guy come in and ride with me from our corporate office up in Connecticut, and he rode with me all day, and we were in that area, and we stopped for lunch. He goes, "Can you take me to a place where someone doesn't have an Abraham Lincoln beard?"
Yeah. Well, I don't. Did you send me, or I don't know if it was just like it's probably been about a month, and it was the Amish guy that worked at the postal office, the post service in like whatever Amish town, like Lancaster or whatever. Did you send me that TikTok or that video? Okay, so it's like one modern post office, and they actually hired an Amish guy because 300 people in the town had the same last name and the same first name. But that he looked at the mail, and just by seeing like who it was from, like he knew. Like everybody, he's like, this Robert Hess and Robert Hess. He's like, look, this is from his cousin, like Janie. So I know this goes to this Robert Hess, and this one, it was from this person. So I know it goes over here. Yeah. So like they never would have figured it out. They had to hire someone from the town.
I believe it. All those little towns like that are like that.
Everybody had the same first and last name. Yeah. He was just like, and he's Amish and putting it in those slots and.
Yeah, well, I remember when we were young, my parents took us to Crystal Caves. Do you know where that is?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all Amish over there.
Yeah.
Amish, right? So they
Amish-ish.
So there was a horse and buggy there, and my parents went into the place to get the tickets for us to do the tour in the Crystal Caves. And I guess I was probably 8. My sister's like 10. My brother's 6, right? 5 or 6. So he just climbs in the buggy, right? And like my sister and I are just standing there, like not thinking anything of it. We thought like that was part of like just there,
part of
like,
the tour,
right? So my parents come out. My mom's freaking out. She's like, "Get out of there!" And the people come out. That's buggy that it is, and it's the Amish. We were like, "Are these characters? Like, is this like Disney World?" Like we had never seen anything like it. It was like so foreign to us because we lived, in Plainfield, Edison, like it's like a city area. So like we had never seen anything like that before. But yeah, my brother just like climbed in and was like, "Giddy up, horses,
ready to
like
go."
Let's go." Right. And that was like our first experience. But then they were so nice. They like let us sit in there and they like talked to us and like my parents, and like it was kind of a cool experience. But yeah, it was totally their vehicle, like their ride to get place.
They get so used to it. They're used to people effing with them too, because Witness was filmed in that area with Harrison Ford. Kelly McGillis years ago was filmed in Lancaster and that whole area, and it's like that. I mean, Sundays, even in where I grew up in Lebanon, on Sundays, depends on what area you were in Lebanon, whether it was Schaeferstown or Fredericksburg. If you're driving the back road, you're like, son of a bitch. Yeah. I'm behind.
How was that spelled?
Huh?
How was that spelled?
I think it's SHAFEEFFER, Schaeferstown.
Okay.
But
that's not the correct
Myerstown. It's like you got behind a horse and buggy, you're done. You're like, I'm gonna be here for a while.
Yeah.
Crack open another beer.
Damn. Yeah, I just always remembered that though. And then like obviously as I got older, like I've been around that area and was like, oh, okay, whatever, this is so normal. But when you're small and you never seen anything like that before, it is like,
oh yeah, I'm sure.
You're like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, it's like, who the hell has
but
a horse and buggy?
Well, you grow up watching Little House on the Prairie and then you kind of see it. You're kind of like freaked out a little bit though. You're like knowing
Big Little House fan.
Yeah. Oh, Little House of Prayer. Love it.
All right. Well, on that note.
All right. Yeah. On that note, I'm Bully Kevin.
I'm Bully Jess.
I'm Bully Kerr.
I'm Bully Jen.
And remember,
Bullies
make
make
good
good
friends.
From Kev, Jess, Kerr, and Jen, we are the Broadleaf Bullies. Thank you for joining us, and remember, bullies make good friends.